Isn't it about time for somebody's favorite radio program?
Yeah. 97.3 ESPN presents The Sports Bash with Mike Gill.
When I'm driving, I got a guy on the radio who talks to me. I can't see him, but he talks to me.
Now, live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Mike Gill.
And we are live from the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Nick Earnshaw once again filling in for Mike Gill on this Monday afternoon. Pete Giordano, Pete is joining me on site producing. Pete, good to see you.
What's up, Nuggets? I love this place, man.
Oh, there's nothing better.
I love getting back here.
Oh, you see all the TVs right in front of you. I mean, there's 100 TVs, it feels like, in this place. Everywhere you turn, there's a sports.
It's a gorgeous beach day, by the way. Umbrellas out there.
Oh, nothing better than being at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. And what a weekend it was, PG. Phillies coming off a sweep of the Texas Rangers. They are up 5.5 games on the New York Mets in the National League East. So, I listen, good weekend for the Phillies, but I'm a little concerned right now, Pete, okay? Got a lot going on in the pitching realm of things, so we'll get to that in just a second. Landon Dickerson, he goes down at the Eagles Open practice yesterday, so a lot to talk about with him. We're still waiting on an update with his MRI that he had done today, so there's a lot to get to. But first, I want to start with the Phillies and Zack Wheeler. Listen, he pitched a great game yesterday, but he struggled to get through it, Pete. And I'm not seeing the Zack Wheeler we're used to seeing, okay? That is where we're at. He just has struggled mightily through his last couple of starts. Listen, yesterday he only gave up the 2 runs. He got through 5 innings, but his pitch count was high, and it was a struggle to command through that game. And, I understand. They won the ball game. He still pitched okay. The bullpen came in, did its job. But I think Zack Wheeler and this stiffness in his shoulder is a massive, massive, massive concern, because you need this guy at 100% when you're heading into the postseason. It can't go any other way than having him at 100%, because if Zack Wheeler, your ace, the top of the rotation guy, is not healthy for the postseason, I don't see this team going very far. I know they have other guys on the roster. They got Sanchez. They have Aaron Nola possibly coming back very, very, very soon. So you have other guys, but Wheeler is the horse. He's the rock that leads this pitching staff. And if he's not healthy, it's going to be a lot of trouble. So I want to get into this, and I want to talk about it with you at 609-403-0973 is how you jump aboard and get into the conversation. Today, I'm just asking a simple question. Should the Phillies shut Zack Wheeler down? 609-403-0973. Listen, he was not pitching as hard as he possibly can yesterday. I mean, he was around 93, 94 with the fastball. The velo was down, and that's what's really concerning, Pete.
Velo was down across the board.
Across the board.
If you look at it, four-seamer down, sinker down, cutter down, split, sweeper, curveball, they're all down. And you know what? I think the Phillies are aware of that. They obviously were, because they took him out after 83 pitches in the 5th inning. I mean, when was the last time you saw Wheels only go 83 pitches in the 5th inning?
Yeah, I mean, he drove his pitch count up.
So there's obviously something going on here. I know Wheels after the game said, his quote was, "I feel perfectly normal." Maybe, but to me, I think you asked the question. I think you probably do shut him down for 2 weeks, 2-3 starts. Nola comes back. Walker's pitching tonight. Hopefully he keeps it up. But, I mean, I think with Wheels, you look at it, velo's down. He really gave up 2 homers. Bader
brought one back.
Right, brought one back. So I didn't like what I saw yesterday from him. I know Wheels is Wheels. He's going to always go out there every 5th day and give you his best. But I think you probably do have to save him from himself.
Yep.
And shut him down.
609-403-0973. Should the Phillies shut down Zack Wheeler? Is it send him to the IL, shut him down for 1 start, maybe 2 starts, a couple of weeks? What should the Phillies do with Zack Wheeler? Should they shut him down? 609-403-0973 is how you jump aboard. And I want to take a listen to what Zack Wheeler said yesterday after the ball game about how he's feeling. Take a listen to Wheels here.
felt a lot better. Felt good, felt healthy. Still just a little off, so just got to keep working at that. But it wasn't the prettiest today, but got through it.
When you say a little off, like what's the little off, Zach?
Just, I don't know, trying to figure that out, honestly. The past, 4 starts have been off, but, just that part of the season where, the innings are starting to rack up a little bit. So, it's just catching up to me a little bit, but just got to push through it. And it's all just a cycle, so come back around and I'll be fine.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? If you're listening, did you hear that? It's the part of the season where the innings are starting to rack up a little bit. That's why I'm a little concerned, right? It's starting to get to him. That's an important part of that quote that he said after the game yesterday. He has pitched a lot of innings for this team, and he's a guy that's going to go 6, 7, 8, even go the full distance, 9 innings. He doesn't like coming out in the 5th inning. And if you look at his last couple of starts there, Pete G, 5 innings yesterday, 6 before that, 5 2/3 before that. He hasn't gone past 6 innings since July 6th against Cincinnati, who they will be taking on tonight, starting a series out there in the Midwest. He hasn't pitched past 6 innings since July 6th. That's over a month since that's happened. So there's something clearly there. I know the MRI didn't show any structural damage. Rob Thompson's not concerned. He's not concerned.
It could be just a dead arm. It could be just a soreness. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything like that, but it could just be you need rest.
Yeah, and that's why I think that part of the quote where he said the innings are starting to rack up, it's that part of the year. I think that's the most important part because it shows that, it's starting to get to him a little bit, and if his shoulder's feeling a little stiff, give him some time off, okay?
They have the cushion.
You have the cushion. Taijuan Walker's been pitching really well. He's going to go tonight. Also, Aaron Nola, he's going to be coming back. Sanchez has pitched well. You have Ranger Suarez. So you can afford to push some starts back for him. Give him a break. Maybe not send him to the IL. You don't have to go that drastic. But I think with Zack Wheeler, that's a guy you want to be as healthy as possible heading into October. And when you have a division lead that you do, and when you also have the pitching depth in the starting rotation that you do, you can afford to push a start or 2 back for Zack Wheeler so he can get his arm feeling a little bit better heading into the postseason. I don't mind it. They did it a couple of years ago.
They did in 22. They did shut him down in August. He came back, and he was lights out.
Roaring. He came back roaring after that.
Now,
go ahead.
If the Mets are on a free fall. They've won 1 game in their last 10.
7 straight losses, I believe.
7 straight losses.
Walk off yesterday.
They just got swept by Milwaukee. They have off tonight. Then they play Atlanta this week. But if the Mets were on your heels, and this still was a 1-game lead or a half-game lead like it was this time last week, it was a half game.
Yeah.
Now, are you singing a different tune?
If it's a half game?
If the Mets are still on your heels,
I think a little bit.
Wheeler says he's fine, and he does want to pitch, and he does want to work through it, are you singing a different tune?
Yeah, because he's still Zack Wheeler, and you saw him get through those 5 innings yesterday, right?
Right.
You saw him power through.
He struck out the side in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, only, 3 hits in the ball game. Did have the home run. Bader does bring another home run back, but, he got through it. I don't want Zack Wheeler to be just getting through starts and, having those command issues. So I would shut him down at least for 2 starts at the very minimum at this point because he is so integral. He's such an integral part of this team, and you want that guy to be his best version of himself heading into October.
And you know what? If things still continue the way that they are, we're not going to be worried about the NL East anymore. We're going to be worried about the Dodgers and the Brewers.
Yes, the Brewers.
And getting that top 2 bye.
Brewers, they scare me a little bit.
When does the focus start to switch over to that top 2 bye, and we leave the Mets behind?
Yep, it's a great question. 609-403-0973 is how you jump aboard. I want to get to a couple of texts that are coming in right now. Jeff in Ocean City, he says, yes, shut Wheeler down for 2 weeks and see how he feels. I don't have a problem with that. I don't mind him getting a little bit of rest here late in the season. He's been really good all year. And you also have to factor this in. And I think we touched on it a little bit last week at Yuri's when Durso was with us. He also wants to go for that Cy Young, right? Like he still does not have that Cy Young. So there's got to be a part of him to really want to power through here and try and go for that Cy Young. and try and win it because, I mean, Paul Skeens is pitching well. He's kind of the front runner at this point, but Wheeler's right there, and he's always right there in the conversation for Cy Young. That's another piece of hardware that I'm sure he would want to add to the collection, and he just has not been able to get over the hump. He's either second or he's either third. He's right there. I think that's probably a little bit intertwined in this whole discussion as well, PG.
So 2 starts would be he misses Friday at Washington, then he misses Wednesday, August 20th at home against Seattle. Those are the 2 starts, so maybe you would get him back,
for the Mets series.
For the Mets series, I would agree with that. Mets series August 25th through the 27th at New York. That would be 2 to 3 starts for Wheeler. Can you get by?
I think you can get by.
I think you have the cushion. You have 5.5 games right now. This week you could increase that to 7.5 on that little seesaw there. So
609-403-0973 is how you jump aboard. Should the Phillies shut down Zack Wheeler? Should they shut him down for a month, 2 months, till October, IL, 2 weeks, 1 month, whatever it may be? I think they should shut him down at least for 2 starts. 2 starts from now, even maybe towards the Mets series a little bit longer. I wouldn't mind that, PG. That's where I am at with the Philadelphia Phillies. 609-403-0973. Should the Phillies shut Zack Wheeler down? It's an interesting question because I want to get to a bite from the Phillies show with Ruben Amaro Jr., Jim Salisbury, as well as Todd Zalecki. And Jim Salisbury made a great point here with Zack Wheeler. He is also concerned about him going forward. Take a listen to what Jim Salisbury said on the Phillies show.
It just feels like when you're pulling your fastball, you're not getting that good finish. You're not getting out there and getting that good finish. Maybe something in the shoulders causing him not to get that good finish. I don't know. Then you could see his style of pitching change a little bit, more sweeper, change up, getting away from the power stuff because the velo was down, and obviously he's having trouble locating it. So I respect that he grinded through it and got him the 5 innings, but ran a lot of high pitch counts and a lot of 3-0 counts. Just didn't look like Zack, so I'm concerned until he looks like Zack again.
And, he brings up a great point. He changed his style of pitching because that fastball velocity was down. It was down 4 miles an hour about, just around that area. Pete, I tend to agree with Jim there because if he's changing the way he's pitching, he's going to drive up his pitch count. He's going to get more into deeper counts, 2-2, 3-2, etc. That's going to be a problem because he's going to be out of the game 5th inning, maybe 4th inning if his pitch count is so high. And do you want guys from the bullpen to have to take over for 4 or 5 innings through a Zack Wheeler start? And you've expected like 6-7 innings out of him every time he goes out there.
Not until the 7th. I'm not comfortable with our bullpen until we get to the 7th, 8th, 9th inning guys with Strahm, Duran, obviously, and Kerkering.
Yeah, I'm not either. I think Strahm,
Banks as well.
Kerkering,
Let me throw Banks in there.
Banks has pitched really well, by the way. He has been awesome. And we'll get to talking about the bullpen and how we feel about the bullpen in just a little bit. But, yeah, I think this Zack Wheeler thing is real. I think it's a real concern for Phillies fans, for the Phillies themselves. And I don't think they should mess around here. I know it's still August and you have about a little over a month and a half to go in the regular season, but I want to see him pitch in October. I don't care about a game versus the Nationals or something along those lines, a start versus them. I don't care. I might have to put the Cy Young away too. I don't mind the Cy Young either, Pete, because Zack Wheeler is your guy. He is your ace. He is your game 1 starter, and you want that guy on the mound. No doubt about it. 609-403-0973. Jump aboard. Send your texts in for Zack Wheeler. Should they shut him down? Should the Phillies shut Zack Wheeler down? Let's go to the text board. Robbie from Little Egg Harbor chiming in. He says 2 or 3 weeks at the most. I think it's the minimum there, Rob, in Little Egg Harbor. Thanks for chiming in to the text board in the conversation. Pete, I think that's the minimum. I would shut him down for 2 weeks, 2 starts, whatever it may be.
I agree with you.
I think that's the minimum. His velo was way down. It's not like it was 1 mile an hour, 2 miles an hour. It was 3 or 4 miles an hour. That's significant for a pitcher of Zack Wheeler's caliber. I'm shutting him down for a little while.
It was down on that Jock Peterson home run, I'll tell you that much.
You're dang right it was. So what Jim Salisbury mentioned was so key. He was going to the sweeper more. He had to change up his mentality of how he pitches to all these different hitters. And Texas is no slouch of a team. And if he's changing up the way he pitches, that's really concerning.
And this is something that has been lingering for a bit now. It's not like this just popped up on the radar like last week when they skipped them those 2 days. But this has kind of been lingering for the last several starts for him.
Yeah.
Like you just rattled them off. 5 innings, 5 2/3 innings, 6 innings. It's been lingering.
Well, he even mentioned after the game that this has been an issue for a little while now.
Right.
So, I mean, he's been hurt, and you don't want to make it worse. If you let him go out there and pitch in some of these games against some bad teams, like the Nationals, some teams that, you could beat with other pitchers and be fine, I think that's a real concern too. I mean, I'm just not sold on the idea that he's 1,000% healthy. And listen, nobody ever is by the end of the season, which I totally understand. But if you're the Phillies and Zack Wheeler, this is the year you're trying to go win a World Series. You want that guy on the mound pitching at 98, 99 with that fastball. And, all his other pitches are down. The sinker as well. You want that back up to where it's supposed to be. I'd shut him down. And like we talked about a little bit earlier, they shut him down just a couple of years ago. And then they went on a complete run to the World Series. Okay? They didn't win the World Series, but they went on the run, and it was a big part of it. And a big part of it was because of Zack Wheeler. 609-403-0973. Should the Phillies shut Zack Wheeler down? Going to Andrew in Summers Point, he says, can we afford to possibly lose games, though? Here's the thing. You're up 5.5 games on the New York Mets. I don't think the Phillies are losing games, and the offense has been really good as of late, too.
And they're really, if things really fall flat, they're 7 games, I believe, up on a playoff berth, a wild card berth. So, if that's not going to happen, I don't think that's going to happen. I don't anticipate that, but, you do have a cushion.
You do.
This last week gave you the ability, if you need to, the fail-safe, to put Wheeler on the IL, skip him 2 starts, let him rest, heal up for 2 weeks, and then bring him back late August. Now we'll see how this week progresses with him playing catch or doing a bullpen.
Yep.
If the soreness comes back maybe on Tuesday or Wednesday, we'll see. But it's certainly something that is worth monitoring here these next couple days in Cincy.
Guys, to your point, guys, I think the key you said there, Nick, was offense. Because isn't the key for this team moving forward the offense doing their job? They've had good pitching most of the year. So that you need the offense no matter who's on the mound. So, you have Aaron Nola coming up soon, right? You have the potential to be like, hey, Aaron, you come up, take Zach's spot for like a start or two. You still have Taiwan and Walker who can go out there and eat some innings up. At the end of the day, if your pitchers only are giving up 2-3 runs a game, well, then you just need the batters to show up.
Yeah.
You need timely hits from Max Kepler and Weston Wilson.
Oh, no, don't start with that. Don't start with the Max Kepler thing.
Next segment, okay.
Next segment, we'll get to Max Kepler a little bit later in the show. Listen, I'll give him credit. He had the big hit over the weekend, a big hit. I want to preface that with that, a big hit. Okay?
He's drawing a line in the sand. I'll tell you that, man.
Where was the line in the sand 4 months ago, Pete?
Well, it wasn't there, but he's planting his Max Kepler flag right in the sand.
I needed that flag in April, May, and June.
Well, it's here now.
He can do it from the bench in October, okay? He can come off and have that timely hit one game here in the series.
That. Yeah,
I think that's what you do with Max Kepler. If he could come off the bench as a left-handed, give you a little power bat, I'm cool with Max Kepler doing that.
So any calls of him getting DFA'd or released, you're not there anymore.
I guess not anymore because, what are they going to do with him? At this point, Weston Wilson's been good too. But if you can keep him on the bench and just not start him and platoon him, I'm cool. I'm cool with it. He's on the bench. He's a role player. He's a bench player to come in and pinch hit late in the ball game, maybe as a defensive replacement as well.
And Marsh, now he's batting 280 or whereabouts there. He's really come on.
Marsh has been fantastic as of late, as well as Bryson Stott. Bryson Stott had a week as well. Batting 500 over the last week, 7 of 14 at the dish. He's been unbelievable.
I know we're going to get into this, but Bader, his glove needs to be out there 9 innings every day.
Bader in center, Marsh and Kemp in left when Bohm comes back. And Bohm is knocking on the doorstep of coming back from injury. He had A couple of starts over the weekend in Lehigh Valley.
He says he's down there just killing time.
Yeah, essentially.
He's killing time in Lehigh Valley, man.
Yeah, you got to love it. Rojas is down there. Crawford. What a lineup they've had.
I mean, Stubby. Yeah.
What a lineup they've had.
Painter got lit up again. 7
I was going to say, not a good day yesterday. Painter lit up for 7 runs. Alec Boehm 0 for yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah.
Painter.
Well, the Painter thing, I think, is probably.
I think that's out the window.
That ship has sailed now. Yeah,
that's out the window at this point.
Which is fine. I mean, look, the guy's coming off Tommy John.
Yep.
You really didn't anticipate having him until this time anyway.
Yeah.
So you let him come back in Clearwater next year and see what you have, I guess.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Painter. I think that ship has sailed. You're going to get Nola back. Luzardo, is in the rotation too. I mean, you're fine. Like if you're able to let Zack Wheeler just rest for a couple of weeks, a couple of starts, and just get back to who he is and get that velo back up, go back to the way he was pitching, then you're in a good spot. I think you have the pitching staff to do it. You have the rotation to do it. You have the depth to do it.
You have the bullpen
to
do
it. The
it.
bullpen's much better. The 9th inning is on lock. I mean,
it really is, man.
Have you ever, in a while, I mean, it's been a while since I've felt so confident heading into a 9th inning and didn't have butterflies in my stomach being nervous.
It really brings you back to the Brad Lidge days. I mean, that's how far I can go back to really have the utmost confidence that guy coming in the 9th inning is going to get a 1-2-3 inning. Not even giving up a walk or a hit. This guy is on lockdown 1-2-3 inning.
1, 2, 3. It's unbelievable. 609-403-0973 is how you get aboard. Should the Phillies shut Zack Wheeler down? Let us know your thoughts on the Wheeler situation. We also have some great guests lined up today at 2:30. On the other side, we're going to have Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. 3:30, we're going to have Jovan Alford from Fansided and TotalSportsLive.com. Jeff Mosher for football at 4.
Oh, we got some Birds talk here today.
We got some Birds talk.
They're back, baby.
Dave Klemick's going to join us at 5 o'clock today.
All right.
Former Kansas City Chief and mainland graduate. We'll talk to him about the Birds.
I saw him on the beach the other day.
Oh,
right,
we were on the beach. We were on the beach. Nick Earnshaw, Pete Giordano, live from the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. We'll see you on the other side. AC Press, Mike McGarry on the other side. Welcome back, Nick Earnshaw, Pete G, filling in for Mike Gill today, live from the Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. It's featuring an elevated bar and lounge, 12 slot machines, a mix of blackjack and roulette tables, and a dedicated area with 4 betting windows and 11 kiosks. The Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery is the ultimate sportsbook experience. All right, 609-403-0973 is how you jump aboard. Should the Phillies shut Zack Wheeler down, and for how long? Go to the IL, shut him down for a couple starts. Let us know. Text us, 609-403-0973. And I'm going to ask the same question to our next guest, Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City, at AC Press McGarry on the Twitter X platform. Mike, I got to start with Zack Wheeler yesterday. Listen, he goes 5 innings. I understand he got through it, only gave up the 2 runs, 3 hits, but the pitch count was up there, and the command was – he struggled mightily with the command. Talk to me about Zack Wheeler and what you noticed yesterday, and should they shut him down at least for a little bit? Yeah, and you have Zack Wheeler. He says he's not concerned. Rob Thompson also says he's not concerned. They did the MRI. Nothing came back. No structural damage, but the velocity was down. And he was kind of changing up the way he pitches, going to that sweeper a little bit more. If you are the Philadelphia Phillies, this is somebody you need in the postseason. Should there be concern for fans out there with the way he has pitched, even though he's been okay looking at the box score?
Hey, Mike, I wanted to go back to Saturday's game. Turner, Schwarber, Harper, 0 for 11, but it was the bottom of the order that really came through. Kepler with the go-ahead hit, and Stott had 2 hits, and this was against Jacob deGrom. How big is the bottom of the order, Kepler, Sosa, Stott, Marsh when he's down there? How big is the bottom of the order for this team? And I want to talk to you about the division and the National League as a whole. Is it time to start focusing on that top 2 bye? I mean, they're 5 back of Milwaukee, so that might be tough to make up in about 6 weeks here. But the Dodgers, they're only a half game up on LA for that top 2 bye to avoid that first week of playing. When is it time to shift your focus to that top 2 seed here? Right now? Okay.
We're talking with Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. You can follow him at AC Press McGarry on the Twitter X platform. Nick Earnshaw, PG, filling in for Mike Gill today. Mike, I do want to ask you regarding the bullpen. It's been locked down since Duran has got here. Ryan Kirkering has looked really good. Matt Strom as well. But they bring up David, and I'll add Tanner Banks in there as well. But they bring up David Robertson. Where does he fit into the mold of this team? He's been activated now. He's on the roster. What is his role for the Philadelphia Phillies?
Mike, back to the outfield platooning situation. With what Kepler's been doing the last few games with timely hits, big hits. Weston Wilson had one yesterday. Marsh is really tearing it up right now. His average is up around 280 or so. Do we see, and August 15th is coming up this week, at the end of the week, do we see Justin Crawford and Andrew Painter coming up here maybe to get their feet wet? I know Painter got lit up yesterday, so that's not a good sign. But do we see Crawford and Painter up here to get their feet wet coming up soon?
Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. You can follow him at AC Press McGarry on the Twitter X platform. Mike, thanks so much for taking some time talking some Phils with us today. All right,
Thanks,
there's Mike McGarry from the Press of Atlantic City. I do want to get to some breaking news. According to Adam Schefter, we do have an update on the Landon Dickerson situation.
I've been waiting for this.
Adam Schefter tweets out, Eagles Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson is thought to have suffered a meniscus injury to his right knee, per sources. Dickerson is getting additional options to determine the next course of action and how long he might be sidelined.
I think that's, not good news, but it's better than what we were
It's not the
fearing.
worst news.
Right.
I was fearing the worst. I don't think that's the worst.
You would think he'd be able to play this year, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Right?
We'll see. Nick Earnshaw, Pete G. We are broadcasting live from the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Once again, Landon Dickerson is thought to have suffered a meniscus injury to his right knee. That's according to Adam Schefter of ESPN. We'll react to it on the other side. We'll get to some of your texts as well. This is Nick Earnshaw, Pete G, filling in for Mike Gill here on the Sports Bash. Welcome back into the Sports Bash. Nick Earnshaw alongside Pete G as we fill in for the world traveler, Mike Gill. I think he's in Prague right now, Pete G.
He is in Prague, yes.
Yeah. I could have never imagined Mike Gill in Prague, but here we are.
It was in Portugal. Now he's in Prague.
We're broadcasting live and filling in for Mike Gill today. We are live from the Fanatics Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. And, here at Ocean, I don't know if you've ever been in the Topgolf Swing Suite, Pete. It is fantastic. And they also have some fantasy football draft party packages August 9th through September 3rd. Reserve your own private bay and host your fantasy football draft party at Topgolf Swing Suite Bar and Kitchen. Make your picks while enjoying the ultimate bar food. The All-Pro Fantasy Football package includes dedicated semi-private bay for up to 4 hours, appetizer samplers and 2 domestic beer buckets, complimentary Wi-Fi, complimentary Ocean draft board, and labels for every offensive player and team defense, and Ocean Championship Trophy. An Ocean Championship Trophy, I can't beat that. $600 per package, up to 10 guests, $50 per each additional person, up to 12 guests. Book now at theoceanac.com. As we said before we went to break, the big news and the big story of the day is Landon Dickerson's injury. He went down last night, was carted off at the open practice at Lincoln Financial Field, and Adam Schefter reports and tweets out, Eagles Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson is thought to have suffered a meniscus injury to his right knee. Per sources, Dickerson is getting additional options to determine the next course of action and how long he might be sidelined. So with our question of the day at 609-403-0973, our question is, should the Phillies shut Zack Wheeler down? If you also want to add something with the Landon Dickerson injury, you want to add a thought on that, just text in at 609-403-0973. And Pete, we were talking during the commercial break a little bit, and we've heard about a meniscus injury before.
For about 3 years if
For a
you
while.
go to the Wells Fargo Center.
I think we're all in Philadelphia. If you're a Sixers fan, an Eagles fan, Phillies fan, whatever it may be, especially a Sixers fan, you're pretty well versed in the meniscus tear, meniscus injury,
and
conversation.
Not only that, but coming back too soon.
Yeah,
from
how long they should be out.
Yes.
So we don't really know the severity. We only know that he has suffered a meniscus injury to his right knee.
Right. Is it a full tear? Is it a partial tear? We don't know that. The tweet did not specify that.
And what's great is usually, when Joel Embiid was going through his meniscus tears, they were never really specified anyway what he had either. So this is nothing new to a Philadelphia fan.
Now, the timing kind of stinks, right, because the season is kind of coming up soon.
Yep.
So he is going to be out for the foreseeable future. Will he get back by the playoffs? I know I'm jumping way far ahead here, but, a playoff return would be great to see him back by then.
Yeah, and you know what we saw the other night during the preseason game, you were there.
Yes, sir.
I thought the offensive line looked pretty good. Steen had that big block for Shipley that let him get a big play going. I thought overall the offensive line depth looked okay. They have Keegan. They have Green, who they traded for in the CJ-GJ trade. Brett Toth.
Matt Pryor, another guy.
So I can't wait to talk to Mosher a little bit later to see his thoughts on where the Eagles could go with this. Could they even dip into free agency?
That's a possibility.
And replace him for a little while, depending on how long and how severe this injury is for Dickerson.
Again, Stoutland University, next man up.
Yep.
We've seen it in the past. We saw it last year with Becton, the emergence of Mekhi Becton. It's more opportunities for next man up.
And I got to say, we are spoiled in South Jersey, in Philadelphia, in the Delaware Valley, that we have a coach that's coaching the offensive line in Jeff Stoutland. Because, if you look at it, everybody he coaches up turns to gold. Mekhi Becton was an afterthought with the New York Jets. He was hurt all the time. He didn't live up to the first-round expectations. And now he goes and gets a big contract from the Los Angeles Chargers.
We say tongue-in-cheek, Stoutland University, but it's a real thing.
It's a real thing.
It is a real thing.
Yeah, listen, it's a next-man-up mentality. And are we going a little bit too far in, thinking, whoever they put in will be fine?
Yeah, I think so.
Are we so spoiled that we're like, they'll be fine? They have Coach Stoutland. You can't expect that from every player, right?
And we talked about, could you imagine this rotation without Zack Wheeler.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the offensive line, especially the interior side of that offensive line, without Landon Dickerson?
Yeah, because remember, you lost Becton. Steen was coming in to start, and now you potentially are losing Dickerson for a little bit of time. It's a concern up the middle. So how does that affect Saquon Barkley? How does that affect Jalen Hurts? Is it going to be this stalwart of an offensive line heading into the season? You got Mailata on the left side. You have Lane Johnson on the right side. You have Cam Jurgens in the middle.
And how does that impact the tush push?
That's what I mean.
I mean, it's funny to think about, but Landon Dickerson's your guy for that tush push.
He is, and this is a concerning injury. All day we've had to talk about injuries here, PG. That's what we've had to do.
It's not all rainbows and butterflies, like I tell my daughter all the time.
That's not.
You got big hits from Kepler and Weston Wilson. Phillies take a sweep, but then the Eagles lose Landon Dickerson.
You can never have it all in this city.
Nope.
You just can never have it all. It's always something in Philadelphia sports. All right. Nick Earnshaw, PG.
Did you see CeeDee Lamb, by the way, last night?
Oh, he got
absolutely
nailed.
Trampled.
We might have to talk about that during the Nuggets and the Pete's Pizza segment. We'll have a nice platter.
No
again
injuries,
today.
so we can laugh about it, but that was,
No Durso donuts today, though,
Yeah.
unfortunately. Nick Earnshaw, PG. We're filling in here for Mike Gill, the world traveler himself. He's in Prague right now. We're broadcasting live from the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. We're having a lot of fun. On the other side, we'll continue with the Landon Dickerson discussion, the meniscus injury that he did suffer at the open practice. We'll get to that. We'll also get to your text about Zack Wheeler and his stiff shoulder. That's on the other side. Welcome back, Nick Earnshaw, PG, filling in for Mike Gill today. We are live at the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. It's good to be back at Ocean. We'll be here throughout the whole football season. Mike, Pete, you'll see intern Gina. I think she's promotions Gina now.
Oh, is that official? Promotions?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
All right.
609-403-0973 is how you jump into the conversation on the text board. We've been talking about it pretty much the last half hour. Eagles Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson is thought to have suffered a meniscus injury to his right knee per sources. That is according to Adam Schefter of ESPN. And, you know, Pro Football Doc on Twitter, the Twitter X platform, whatever you want to call it, he's got some interesting information. And, you know, we all become doctors, you know, de facto doctors, it feels like, whenever there's a meniscus tear in this city.
He is the go-to guy for any kind of football injury, especially during the season. I mean, he does live updates during the games. You got a fantasy player that goes down in the first half, you go right to that Twitter page, and he'll give you the update.
We got to see him down at Radio Row last year, so that was a lot of fun. But he's given out some important information regarding a meniscus tear. There is no official word on how much time Dickerson will miss or the severity of the meniscus tear. All we know is that is it a meniscus injury, okay? So with that, Pro Football Doc, Dr. Chow, says a mastectomy, which is a trim, means around 6 weeks he would miss. If it's a meniscus repair, it means 4 to 6 months he would miss. Okay, that was what J.J. McCarthy missed last season. So the treatment on the meniscus injury depends on the type of tear, and we do not have that information yet. All Adam Schefter reported was that it is a meniscus injury to his right knee.
It
and he was dealing with some.
If Schefter gave us the severity.
A little bit more, I guess.
So we're not speculating for the next 5 hours.
So we don't know the severity of it yet. We don't know how much time Dickerson will miss, but it is a meniscus injury to the right knee. And he was dealing with some right knee issues before last night's practice. It had been talked about that he had a knee issue, and I guess this just made it a little bit worse.
Right. If you look at the video, it's kind of grainy.
Yep.
It's hard to really make out, but I think he might have gotten stepped on by a teammate, so it was friendly fire during that practice. So I think that's how it happened. And then we saw him get carted off. He wasn't on the back of the cart. He was sitting up, which everyone thought that was a good sign, which I guess it turned out to be a good sign.
Yeah, and, you know, Pro Football Doc, Dr. Chow, he also tweeted out saying door open for not season ending is the good news. So
return by the playoffs. Let's go.
Yeah, so I don't think he'll miss all season. It doesn't seem like it's that severe, but we just don't know. We're speculating a little bit. Adam Schefter has put out that it's just a meniscus injury to the right knee. So we don't know if it's a full tear, a partial tear. I mean, I feel like I'm talking about the 76ers and Joel Embiid again.
It does bring you back to
goodness,
PTSD
bad memories.
The last 3 years with Embiid.
Oh, geez. So 609-403-0973. If you have a thought on Landon Dickerson, let us know. But we started the show today talking about Zack Wheeler and another potential injury. Should the Phillies shut Zack Wheeler down? 609-403-0973. We got a couple of texts coming in. Evan from Little Lake Harbor, he said, Josh, it's Nick and Pete today, Evan, but we'll let that slide for today. He said, Wheeler needs to play. I need him burnt out. The Mets losing streak ends today. Down with the Phillies and up with the Mets. First of all, Evan, the Mets have lost 7 in a row. You're 5.5 games back. And you got my name wrong. You said it was Josh. It's Nick. So it's a bad job by you, Evan. Bad job. And the fact the Mets, you think they even have a shot now? I mean, they're just going the complete other way at this point.
They really are.
I mean, my goodness.
Lindor's a mess. Soto's a mess.
Frank the Tank's been freaking out
the
Twitter.
Bullpen additions have been really awful, especially Helsley. He's been terrible. So
yeah, no, we got all these Met fans chiming in today. It's Cole from LBI. We love Cole, though. As a Met fan, I'm built for the Mets to pull this kind of dive. Great sports life I got rooting for the Mets and the Jets. Oh, jeez. The Mets and the Jets? Which is worse? I think it's the Jets, right? It's not even close.
I think being a Jets fan in general, I think with what happened last year especially, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Jets. easy. But you guys are built for big collapses, and, I see it happening once again.
The seeds are being planted.
They are. They literally are. All right, here we go. Phil in Brigantine, he says, guys, what's your assessment of Ringo and Jackson? Tough for anybody to cover Chase, but the poor angle Ringo took on the TD was terrible. Would like to hear the Birds' take if they're considering putting DeJean on the outside. Now, you were there, Pete, for that game. I thought Adoree Jackson did not play well. Keely Ringo didn't do himself any favors as well. I thought Eli Ricks played pretty well, but he's not really in the conversation to start. However, Jacorian Bennett is the guy I want to see, Pete, because I don't think Ringo or Jackson are the guys to start on the outside.
And Bennett was getting first-team reps last night at the public practice. They put him on a red eye last Monday. They got him here as fast as they could. He watched practice a few times, and they put him right out there with the ones.
Yeah.
And you know what? With what we saw from Adoree Jackson and Ringo, really, those guys have not taken the job. They've had the chance all summer long, and no one has really grabbed the brass ring, as they say, and taken that first team job.
No, I mean, nobody has really just grabbed that second cornerback spot and won that job. It just hasn't happened. I'm glad they traded for Jacorian Bennett. Thank you to the Las Vegas Raiders and Pete Carroll wanting big, strong corners. But you don't need that. You don't need a big, strong corner if you're the Philadelphia Eagles. You go out and get Jacorian Bennett, and I think he could fit on the outside. Listen, he covered Jamar Chase really well last year when they played the Bengals out there in Las Vegas. So, I'm cool. I want to see what this guy has at this point. And remember, I also want to throw out there that Asante Samuel Jr. is also a free agent. Now, I know he plays a little bit more nickel, etc., but just adding him into the mix, I wouldn't mind them going out into free agency and getting another guy as well. As for the DeJean thing, though, Pete, he's not going to play the outside. I don't think that's going to happen, at least to start the season. They want him to kind of rove all over the defense, playing nickel, playing safety, playing in that slot position. I think that's what they really want to do with Cooper DeJean, and they want to find somebody else that can lock down that second cornerback spot so they can have Cooper DeJean all over the place and utilize his talents that way.
And not only that, but Mitchell can stay put.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to be following CeeDee Lamb around all game. He doesn't have to be following Malik Neighbors around all game. He can stay put on his preferred side.
Well, honestly, I don't mind if he follows the top receiver. I actually would rather have
would you? Okay.
Yeah, I would rather have Quinyon Mitchell following the top receiver. And I think they're going to give him the opportunity to kind of do that throughout the season. But you still need another outside corner to lock one side down at some point, right? And I don't think that's Cooper DeJean. Cooper DeJean is going to be just an everything. He's going to be everywhere, all over the field. You're going to line him up at linebacker. You're going to line him up at safety. You're going to line him up in the slot, in nickel. That's what Cooper DeJean is, and that's what he's really good at. And I think that's what Vic Fangio wants to utilize his skill set with. However, you have an open slot on the other side of corner, and no one's taking the job. Adoree Jackson, I don't trust. He hasn't been that good in a couple of years. Keely Ringo, he's really good on special teams, but he just has not taken that job and ran with it. It just hasn't happened. So they go out and they get a Jacorian Bennett. And what does Howie Roseman like to do? He finds these guys that are undervalued, that
on rookie contracts
are cheap.
Yeah.
And I feel like this might be another one, if he stays healthy, that can really play and that can really help this team win and fill that spot. Because remember, you lose Slay and you lose Isaiah Rodgers.
I think as training camp goes on and we get closer to Labor Day, I think you're going to see Bennett rise up the depth chart. And as soon, with the pads coming on a lot more now, I think you're going to be monitoring that, and you're going to be seeing Bennett shoot up the depth chart.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I really do. I don't think they're going to go out and make another trade. I just don't see that happening. And Vic Fangio said the other day that everybody has the right to compete for that starting job, right? He said in his press conference on Saturday that everyone has the right to compete, and they just got to see what Jacorian Bennett has, essentially, at this point. I think he's got talent. I think he has talent. That's why Howie Roseman goes out and gets him. You have to give up Thomas Booker, but I like what they have on the defensive line. I think Ty Robinson, Gabe Hall, they've had really good camps. They can go into that role and fix that issue, losing Thomas Booker, but you got to fix the other one. The big one is cornerback 2 on this team.
Yeah, and we haven't even talked about safety yet. I know you mentioned it with DeJean, but Sidney Brown.
He got hurt.
Who?
During the preseason game. He
Oh,
got a little
Brown.
banged up.
Yeah, Brown went in the medical tent.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's how he plays. I mean, he puts his
hard.
head first. He plays hard. So that's still going to be a concern for me entering the season.
Yeah, I think safety, corner as well, a little bit concerning, but I think overall, I still think the Eagles will be fine heading into the year. Barring any injuries, the Dickerson news today, not great, but we don't think it may be as serious as we thought. It's not an ACL. It's not an MCL. It is a meniscus injury to that right knee. So as we get more information, we'll let you know, but that is according to Adam Schefter. 609-403-0973. I want to switch gears back to the Philadelphia Phillies and talk about one guy that I thought has played really well as of late. Actually, 2 guys, Brandon Marsh and Bryson Stott. They have been on a tear. And Brandon Marsh, listen, I gave him a lot of flack early on in the season. I was ready to trade him, ready to get rid of him, bench him, whatever it may be. He comes back from injury, and he has just been hitting lights out against right-handed pitching. He has been fantastic. So I was wrong. I was wrong on Marsh earlier in the season. And listen, I'll admit when I'm wrong. I'll say it. I will always admit that I am wrong about something. And listen, Brandon Marsh has really stepped it up. Bryson Stott, last week, 7 of 14 at the dish. He's been really good as well, PG. Listen, if they get guys at the bottom of the lineup contributing, they're going to be fine throughout the postseason. We know the top guys have to contribute. But if you get Bryson Stott back to where you think he could be and Brandon Marsh to the level that we know he can hit.
That's the key.
That's
Marsh
huge.
for me is the linchpin of this whole thing.
Huge.
For that bottom of the order. And we saw it over the weekend. Kepler, Wilson, timely hits. But if you look at the lineup today, just released, those 2 guys that you want to talk about glowingly and give flowers to, they're not in the lineup. Stott and they're facing a lefty, so they're not in the lineup. Otto Kemp is in the lineup. Edmundo Sosa is in the lineup. Weston Wilson is in the lineup. So that's the bottom of the order there for you. Bader, Kemp, Sosa, Wilson.
Well, at least Kepler's not in the lineup today. That's what I'm actually excited about. So Pete did bring up the lineup, and today's Phillies lineup is brought to you by Instant Services, South Jersey's premier HVAC, plumbing, and electrical services provider. Go to instantservices.com to learn about their preventative maintenance memberships and how they can keep your systems running strong year-round. The lineup today is Turner leading off at short, Schwarber DHing, batting second, Bryce Harper at first, batting third, JT Realmuto behind the dish in the cleanup spot. Castellanos will follow him, batting fifth in right field. Bader in center field, batting sixth. Seventh, Kemp, he will be playing at third base today. Edmundo Sosa, he will be batting eighth, playing second. And Weston Wilson in left, batting ninth, rounding things out. And on the mound today is Taijuan Walker, who's been really good as of late.
He's been really a great
I got to give him credit
to this team.
I got to give him credit.
No question.
Because he has been really good. And listen.
And the journey that he's taken to get here, I mean, hats off to him.
Yeah, you have to. And Rob Thompson talked about it, I want to say a week or two ago, after one of his starts, just, giving him a lot of praise because of what he's been through, the contract he signed and the expectations that come with it. He has struggled mightily since coming here. But as of late, I mean, he's pitched really well. On the fifth, he goes 6 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, no walks, 4 Ks. Against the White Sox, really good that day. Only gave up 2 earned runs. Against the Yankees, pitched pretty well. Like his last 3 starts, very serviceable. And he's helping this team stay in games and win games.
And he doesn't need to be Zack Wheeler out there.
No.
Just give us 5-6 innings, shut out if you can. I mean, he did that against Baltimore, but 5-6 innings, 2 earned runs, just keep him in the game.
I wonder if we see David Robertson tonight. Now, he is on the roster now.
He is up with the big club.
He's up with the big club now. I'm very curious to see if he pitches tonight in one of those pockets, in a lower leverage situation, depending on, what the score is. But if you can get like 5 good innings out of Taijuan Walker tonight, that's 6th, 7th. I wonder if they use him tonight because Joan Duran, he might not be available tonight, right? So how does Rob Thompson utilize some of those guys now without a Duran? He might not be available tonight.
Well, he's got a new toy to play with in Robertson.
He does.
Maybe you see him in that Tanner Banks role to start. I don't think he would, like you said, low leverage. I don't think he's going to bring him in with guys on base. I think that's probably a Tanner Banks spot. But, clean innings. I think I could see him coming out in the 6th or 7th inning if it's clean.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how he fits into everything because he's 40 years old. It's his 3rd stint with the Phillies. He hasn't pitched this year until he got to the minors with Lehigh Valley. I want to know how he fits in to this entire puzzle because come playoff time, remember, one of those starters is going to become a reliever, and he's going to pitch in some of those certain spots, whether it's a Nola, whether it's a Ranger Suarez, a Luzardo, whoever they go with. It's a different ballgame. John Middleton talked about it. Dave Dombrowski's talked about it. So it's a different ballgame for the bullpen in the postseason. I'm curious how they want to use David Robertson because Kirkering's pitched well. Tanner Banks has pitched well from the left side, right? You have Joan Duran just locking down the 9th inning. I'm okay with how everything's kind of playing out right now. If you get good starting pitching, which they have for a majority of the year, you pretty much can go Strom, Banks, then Kirkering, and then you go to Joan Duran in the 9th.
Well, let me
it's
ask
a beautiful
you this.
setup.
You mentioned those 3 guys, Strom, Kirkering, Duran. Out of those 3, who are you most concerned with, having not a setback, but, bad outings, bad stuff, homers, Strom, Kirkering, Duran, obviously. We can leave him off the board, actually. Strom or Kirkering really are the 2 for me.
Yeah, I think it's Strom and Kirkering. They're your 2. Banks is going to come in, I think, in a lower leverage spot. But then you also have to pick and choose in the postseason which starters it going to be. And they're going to get some run as well during the postseason. So that is such a huge bonus for the Phillies. But it goes back to our question, right, with Zack Wheeler. 609-403-0973. And he just does not seem like himself at all. Yesterday, hung around 80 pitches before he went out. And Mike McGarry talked about it earlier in the show during the 2 o'clock hour. That is not typical Zack Wheeler fashion. He's going to go out there for the 6 and pitch in the 90-pitch range, 100-pitch range, right? And his velo down, not around 93 miles an hour. Where does he usually sit? Around 97. That's not helping his case at all for him feeling okay. So I think Zack Wheeler is a big puzzle piece to this whole thing. If that falls apart, and then it gets really interesting to see how they use those pitchers in the postseason.
And you don't know what it is. Talking to Zack Wheeler, he thinks it's just maybe a blip on the radar, just the dog days of summer type of thing, sore arm, or is it something more than that? Again, the Phillies have been saying nothing to see here, like Mike McGarry said earlier on in the show. So it's something that you got to watch out for.
I want to make sure he can ramp it up for the postseason. 609-403-0973. Jump aboard. Should the Phillies shut down Zack Wheeler? For how long? Should he go to the IL? Should he be shut down for 2 weeks, 2 starts, 3 starts, 1 start? What should the Philadelphia Phillies do with Zack Wheeler? Should they shut him down? 609-403-0973. We'll get to your text in a little bit, but I want to stay here with the Phillies and continue to talk about something that's been on my mind a little bit with the pitching staff, and that's Aaron Nola. He's going to be coming back. I want to know how he's going to fit into this puzzle piece as well, because you've had such great starting pitching. Taijuan Walker's looked really good. Now Taijuan will go back to the bullpen. That's another aspect of this. When Nola comes back, and it seems like he will, that's why it's going to be important for them to get Zack Wheeler healthy, because they have Nola coming back. You can go and pitch and utilize your guys that you already have. And Taijuan Walker, the fact he's pitched well, you're in good shape if you give Zack Wheeler some time off. You have a 5.5 game lead on the New York Mets, who have lost 7 in a row. I'm okay if he has time off. Aaron Nola coming back really helps the case of giving him a couple of days.
And Nola's going to make that 3rd start at Lehigh Valley tomorrow.
Yep.
in AAA. So you would think after tomorrow he's going to be up.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any reason to give him a fourth start down there. So I think we should expect Nola to be back this weekend.
Yeah, his velo was a little bit down in his starts as well. I'm a little concerned with that. I mean, he doesn't pitch very hard anyway. His fastball usually sits around 90, 91, unless he's juiced up, right, for like a playoff game. But that's where he usually sits. But it was sitting around like 88, 89. So that's a little bit of a concern. But you get Nola back. That's nice because you have Taijuan Walker. Give Wheeler some time off. Let him get ready for the postseason. Let him figure things out. I know he said yesterday, he feels fine, and Rob Thompson's not concerned after the MRI from the other day. I get it. Everyone's just so laissez-faire. I'm not. I'm freaking out a little bit because I don't want the starting pitcher, the ace, the Cy Young candidate, to be hurt going into the postseason. Is that crazy, Pete? Am I nuts to think, okay, maybe we should give this guy some time off, especially for what they did in 22?
I think it's fair to expect them to maybe give him a break for 2 starts. I mean, it's the easiest solution. You got Nola coming back. You give Wheeler some IL time. You just swap him out. Because Nola, one thing with that guy, he'll give you innings. He is an innings eater, a grade A innings eater.
Yeah.
So it's the easiest solution for me.
I think this is a no-brainer for the Phillies. They cannot mess this up. You can't go into a postseason without Zack Wheeler. You just can't. And, with the Dickerson thing, he had a little bit of a knee issue before yesterday's practice. I don't want to send Zack Wheeler out there to make it worse because the velo was down. It was down. I think that's so important to this whole thing is that the velocity was down, not just a tick, a lot yesterday. And he's not pitching like he usually does. The way he goes about pitching, utilizing his sweeper more yesterday, not great. Don't love that. The way his style's changed because he's a little bit banged up. That's not something you want out of your ace and your Cy Young candidate pitcher heading into a playoff run. It just can't happen.
And back to Nola. Could you imagine if Nola comes back and just dominates?
Yeah.
I mean, he might be rusty the first couple starts, but if he dominates in September and October, that's glass half full. But
it is.
What if he really was just hurt, and that's why he was struggling?
Yeah, I'm a Nola guy. I've always been on the ace side of the Aaron Nola conversation. Is Aaron Nola ace?
I'm going with that narrative. He was hurt. That's why he was so bad. Now he's rehabbed. Now he's geared up, ready to go.
Aaron Nola's going to come back. He'll be back soon. Zack Wheeler, shut him down. Shut him down. All right, Nick Earnshaw, Pete G. We are live from the Fanatics Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. On the other side, Joe Von Alford from Fansided and TotalSportsLive.com will join us, talk Phillies, Eagles, and give us some bets for tonight. I can't wait to talk to him. All that and more on the other side. This is the Sports Bash with Mike Gill. Welcome back in. Nick Earnshaw alongside Pete G filling in for the world traveler himself, Mike Gill. We are broadcasting live at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. We're having a lot of fun. We're happy to be back here at Ocean. Mike and the team will be here all football season long, every single Monday. So make sure, if you're on a Monday after a great football Sunday, come on down, check out the Sports Bash live here in the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort. I also want to remind people that the 3 p.m. hour is sponsored by Broadleys Plumbing, Heating, and AC. Broadleys is your trusted source for heating and plumbing service and installation for generations. Call them at 609-390-3907 or visit them online at broadleys.net. I want to get to our next guest, who's fantastic, does great work for Fansided and TotalSportsLive.com. He's based in the Philadelphia area. Jovan Alford joins us here on the Sports Bash. Jovan, thanks for taking a couple minutes today. All right, Jovan, I want to start with the Philadelphia Phillies and Zack Wheeler. Listen, he's struggled in his past couple of starts. Now, I know yesterday, he only gives up the 2 runs on the homer. Could have almost given up a second home run after the Harrison Bader web gem out there in center field. But his stuff is not the same. He's going to that sweeper a little bit more, and his velo on his fastball and all of his pitches, for that matter, is down. My question of the day is, at 609-403-0973, should the Phillies shut down Zack Wheeler? What say you, Jovan Alford?
How'd the MRI go? Left knee okay?
Jovan, I do want to get to the bullpen as well, because Joan Duran has been unbelievable for this Phillies team. But before that, going back to 08, we had the bridge to Lidge. They're going to get Alvarado back. They get Robertson to the roster yesterday, to the big club. Where do you envision this bullpen going heading into the postseason? What do you think Robertson's role is, and how do you think they utilize Jose Alvarado?
You mentioned the playoffs, Jovan, and I wanted to talk to you about how the Phillies shape up against the rest of the National League. Milwaukee's won 9 in a row. The Dodgers are always there. Phillies are a half game up on LA, and they're 5.5 up on the Mets for the NL East. But where do you think the Phillies are when it comes to the Brewers, the Dodgers? We'll throw the Cubs in there as we get closer to October. Sticking with the majors as a whole, where are you at on the MLB awards? The MVPs in both leagues we can do, and then the Cy Youngs in both leagues. I know Ohtani is just a massive favorite, with Phillies' Kyle Schwarber in there as well, and then Paul Skeens for the Cy Young. Zack Wheeler is in there as well. Where do you fall on the NL MVP, AL MVP, and the Cy Youngs? Oh, I like that play.
Yeah, love that. We're talking with Jovan Alford of Fansided and TotalSportsLive.com. I love that pick for Christopher Sanchez. He has just been unbelievable throughout the entire season. I do want to get to a little bit of football with you, Jovan, and the Philadelphia Eagles. News comes out about Landon Dickerson suffering a meniscus injury to his right knee. That's according to Adam Schefter of ESPN. What do you make of the injury? I mean, we hear meniscus so much in the Philadelphia area with the Sixers, Joel Embiid. It's nothing new for this sports city. But what do you make of the report coming out about Dickerson, and who could possibly replace him on that line? Yeah, and you look at the defensive side of things, Jovan, it's a little bit tough for the cornerback 2 position right now. Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, they go out and trade for Jacorian Bennett. It's a wide-open competition, it seems. Who do you see ultimately winning that spot? Is it Jacorian Bennett? And do you think the Eagles are going to have trouble in the secondary at all this year?
I wanted to ask you about the offense as a whole, and I'm not sure if you saw it last night at the public practice, but the dime that Jalen Hurts threw to Devontae Smith over top of Cooper DeJean, it was just an absurd throw in front of 50,000 fans. What are you expecting from the offense this season? Are you expecting Jalen Hurts to really show out? Are you expecting Saquon Barkley to continue to just take over the running back position in the NFL? What are you expecting as a whole from the offense?
Jovan Alford, Fansided and TotalSportsLive.com. Thank you so much for joining us. Before you go, I do got to get one quick play for tonight. What do you got on the palette? I know you're a big betting guy. All right, Jovan, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your time and your insight, and we'll talk to you soon. All right, there's Jovan Alford, Fansided and TotalSportsLive.com. A lot of stuff there.
Did you see that Jalen Hurts dime?
That was beautiful.
On Twitter?
I did.
That was, you know what? I'm expecting big things from
Jalen Hurts this year. The Super Bowl MVP.
I don't think it's going to be business as usual. I think this is Jalen's year.
Wow. Here we go.
Shut up the haters. Stop the disrespect.
Yeah, I can't talk about lists anymore. I've banned myself from talking about lists.
Have you?
Yeah.
Well, there's a new one out today from The Athletic.
Oh, no. I can't.
Josh Henning's boy, Mike Sando.
I can't get in any more lists. All right. PG, Nick Earnshaw, we're filling in for Mike Gill here on the Sports Bash. We'll wrap up hour number 3 on the other side, 97.3 ESPN. way. Nick Earnshaw, PG, filling in for Mike Gill today, live from the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. And just a reminder, the 3 p.m. hour is sponsored by Broadlee's Plumbing, Heating, and AC. Broadlee's is your trusted source for heating and plumbing service and installation for generations. Call them at 609-390-3907 or visit them online at broadlees.net. PG, apparently Mike Gill is on a boat cruise right now.
What a photo he just sent.
Wow.
Of course, I don't know what time it is. It's probably 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock over there.
Who knows? He's all over the world. I don't even know where he's at half the time anymore. But Nick Earnshaw, PG, we're filling in for Mike Gill live at Ocean Casino Resort. On the other side, we're going to get into more of the Landon Dickerson news regarding his meniscus injury to his right knee. Jeff Mosher, football at 4, is on the other side. You do not want to miss it.
Sports Bash with Mike Gill. It's time for Football at 4, powered by the Inside the Birds podcast.
Just hungry to bring back another Lombardi to Philly. The fans deserve it. Our team deserves it. Culture begs for it.
Now live, this is Football at 4.
Football at 4 is brought to you by Ocean Casino Resort and the Gallery Bar Booking Games, the place to be inside Ocean Casino this football season. Go to the Gallery, go to Ocean, go for the win. For more information, visit oceanac.com, and that's where we are broadcasting live today on this Monday afternoon in the Fanatic Sportsbook in the Gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Nick Earnshaw alongside PG filling in for the world traveler himself, Mike Gill. He's on a boat cruise. He just sends us during the break that he's on a boat cruise, so hopefully he's having a good time on vacation. But now we are going to go to Jeff P. Mosher. We got to enter him into the principal's office.
I remember that from last week. Yeah.
So we got to enter him back in. It's Football at 4, brought to you by Ocean Casino Resort. Jeff, good to talk to you today. The big news today is that Landon Dickerson's injury, he gets hurt during the open practice, and he comes out today. Adam Schefter reports it is a meniscus injury. So, with that being said, we don't know how much time it is going to take
Jeff, your mic's
for him
muted.
to come back. However, we'll see if he can get it going and get back on the field as soon as he can. Jeff, what do you make of the Landon Dickerson injury?
Not good, especially when you hear knee and meniscus, and I know all the Sixers fans have probably heard enough about that to want to hear that about Landon Dickerson. Now, the meniscus is tricky, fellas. I remember Todd Harriman's once had a trim done, and he missed a game. Then the Eagles had the bye week, and then I think they played on like a Monday night the week after that or Sunday night, and he played in that game. So between like incision to game, it was like 3-week recovery there for Todd with the bye week mixed in, and he was fine. And that's why Landon's probably getting this second opinion to figure out, can this be done with a trim? Is it more than that? Is it a partial tear? Is it a full tear? I'm no doctor and I'm no expert, but I think you guys know when someone seeks a second opinion, it's usually because they're not really happy about the first opinion. So it looks like, if this could be the case where Landon Dickerson could be out for weeks and maybe months, depending on what kind of feedback he gets.
Yeah, and the reporting was kind of bland. All it was from Adam Schefter today was it's a meniscus injury to the right knee. Yeah. So not a ton of information there. However, we know he will probably miss some time. And, Jeff, what does that look like for the Eagles on the line? What kind of shuffling can they do? Who do you believe steps in to Dickerson's role here moving forward? Do they go into free agency? Do they use guys they already have on the roster? I mean, they look good at the first preseason game. There was a lot to like from some of those guys. Just talk to me about what you believe the Eagles could do here.
Yeah, so I don't think they're going to go dip into the free agency just yet until they really understand the length and severity of the injury. So to sort of answer backwards first, let's say they find out he's out for the year, or it's a really long time. Yeah, you could see them maybe signing a guy like Brandon Scherf or Shaq Mason out there. I mean, because those are some guys who played some really good football in their careers. But, the Eagles do what they've always done, which is stockpile offensive linemen for scenario like these. Tyler Steen has played really nicely at right guard. It's not even been a competition, and he had an excellent block, really, with linebacker flowing downhill on that 38-yard run by Will Shipley. But he's also played left guard. So theoretically, you could move him to left guard, and you could play Matt Pryor at right guard. Matt Pryor has played right tackle. He's played right guard. I believe he played left tackle last year for the Bears, and I actually think he's played better this time around with the Eagles than he did when he was first with the Eagles, interestingly enough. I think he's had a decent camp. So could he hold down right guard while Tyler Steen moves to left guard? Yeah, that's a possibility. Or you just keep Tyler Steen at right guard and then maybe try to play Pryor at left guard. They drafted Trevor Keegan last year. He is really a natural left guard, but I just, they're having him work on the third team. He's been trying to play center as they look for another guy who can snap the ball. I don't think it's gone all that well for him. Drew Kendall is a kid that they drafted he's a center. He was a center at Boston College, right? Obviously everybody's focusing in on the trade that brought Kenyon Green in, but my eyes are telling me right now that Kenyon Green is not the answer. And unless he has some kind of Patrick Robinson 2017 turnaround in camp, I don't think that he is even going to make the 53-man roster. But there are several weeks left for them to figure this out. Those are all basically the options that are there. There's two ways to look at this thing. You could say in 2017 they won the Super Bowl with Steph Wisniewski stepping in a left guard and Vaitai stepping in at left tackle. I mean, they were down two guys, stepped in, and they won the Super Bowl with a backup quarterback. I'm old enough to remember days like 2010 where they lost Jamal Jackson at center. They lost Max Jean Gillies, who's already a backup. He lost, and they were down really badly there and got killed by the Cowboys, I think it was, at the end of the year and in the playoffs. So they have talent. They have a good infrastructure. But to me, Nick and guys, it's like to be already replacing one guard, right? And then to lose maybe another guard, that just shows you go into the season with almost no margin of injury error for the rest of your offensive line.
Yeah. And being at the game on Thursday night, Jeff, my sight was seeing Kenyon Green just on the sidelines, hand on his hips, holding his helmet for half the game.
Yeah.
So not a lot of faith there in Green. But going back to Thursday's game, two guys I wanted to talk to you about, the receiver side, Johnny Wilson and Darius Cooper. Cooper maybe on the bubble of making this 53-man roster. And really you can mention Jahan Dotson. He had a pretty good first couple series with McKee in there. But Cooper and Wilson, talk to me about those two guys.
Yeah, so two totally different guys. I mean, Johnny Wilson is 6'6", and what I really like is two things. First of all, response to adversity. I don't think he had a great first 3 or 4 practices of camp, specifically with using his body, especially in the red zone, right, and in the end zone as a shield or to go over taller defenders and bring the ball in. But ever since then, I thought he's had a nice response, practiced well, started catching the ball better, and you saw in the preseason game, certainly a lot of really not only nice catches, but usage. That's the number 2 thing that stands out to me. They're playing a lot in the slot. They're playing them in reduced splits, which means you're not lined out all the way by the numbers. That allows you to sometimes have two-way goes. It allows you to do a lot of crossing routes, rub routes, creating space in traffic. And I think Kevin Patullo has done a nice job with that so far. And you saw a big connection between McKee and Johnny Wilson with sort of that slot fade where he did capitalize on his height over the smaller defenders. I think it's really tough when you have a 6'6" receiver to figure out where this guy fits best. You want to put him out at the X because he's like a big, tall, physical receiver? Okay, but those guys don't tend to be very fluid and they tend to have stiffer hips, and it's hard for them to reverse direction. DK Metcalf is sort of like a dinosaur or a unicorn, but even he struggles sometimes to throttle down. So a 6'6" guy is going to have real issues there. And at the same time, it's tough to put him in the slot because they don't have that fluidity that you see those smaller slot receivers tend to have. But they're figuring it out. They're finding ways to get him open, and we'll see if that can continue throughout the preseason and the regular season. Now, the other kid's a totally different story. Rookie free agent out of, you guys all know Tarleton State, great college football team. We watch him every Saturday. He probably plays, in front of 1,500 people in college? I don't know. I don't want to speak out of place, but I think it's really amazing for him to come into this environment. And what I like about him compared to other guys in the past that I would call those training camp darlings who do it in camp, but then they disappear, is that he's not doing any one thing amazingly, like plucking the ball out of midair or doing anything flukish, sort of like Hank Baskett circa 2006. He's getting a lot of targets. He's getting open. He's catching the ball. He's doing it with the second team. And recently he's gotten some first team run and special teams, which shows you that the coaches believe in him, or they at least want to see what he can do when he really plays with, the top guys on the line. So, or top guy starter. So I'm interested to see how his preseason progresses.
Can the Eagles keep both those guys, and how much does Jalen Hurts kind of have influence on a spot like that, when it gets down to it, keeping
None.
Cooper or Wilson?
None. No offense to Jalen Hurts. I know fans like to think that, fans like to think that if Howie signs a defensive player that Vic Fangio must have signed off on it or said it was a good signing until he came out and said, sometimes Howie signs guys that I don't even watch tape of. like Adoree Jackson. So
Right.
it'll be Howie Roseman's decision. Can they keep 6 receivers? Yeah, sure. You can keep 11 receivers, but then you have to go, only keep 1 tight end or 2 running back. It's all a numbers game. I think the difficulty, to your point, Pete, is that the top 3 guys are locked in with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jahan Dotson. And you've got to like what you've seen so far from Johnny Wilson and Aniyah Smith with the punt return.
Right.
That'll be 5 right there. So what value are you getting from Darius Cooper as your 6th receiver? You got to be a special teamer mostly. You honestly, I feel bad for these guys because usually their production on offense and or defense doesn't really matter. It's can they play and master on special teams? Patrick Johnson 2 years ago had a great camp. He led the team in sacks and hurries, tackles for a loss. He made the team, but he never played because he made the team because he's a very good special teamer. And that's probably the case with Cooper. If he's ever going to be something, we'll find out most likely 2 or 3 years down the road.
Jeff, I want to stick with wide receiver. One guy that's definitely going to have a role on this team and has had a really good summer is Jahan Dotson. Made a nice catch at the open practice the other night from Jalen Hurts. And I want to know, is he going to have an extended role? He didn't get a full camp with the Eagles last year. This year he does. Do you think he's going to have more of a role in this offense heading into the season?
I appreciate that question, Nick, because I just rattled off like a 10-minute answer on wide receivers, and you still want to talk wide receivers.
I do.
I guess I did not bore you guys. I was getting worried about that.
At least he's a Penn State guy.
Yes, that's true. It is a great question because of who he is and his skill set makes it a little bit difficult. He is not a natural slot wide receiver. He has played there. Yep. At Penn State, he played there a little bit. But when you're talking about having A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, AJ's your X, Devontae is your move Z. You would love for a natural sort of Jason Avant-like slot wide receiver or Nelson Aguilar slot wide receiver who's just comfortable there. So because he's not, what they do is they run their alignments differently. I talked about those reduced splits. They play the receivers tighter to the line of scrimmage and then run a variety of routes off of that. So that is where they'll probably continue to work Jahan Dotson in, where you'll see him trips right with Devontae and maybe Johnny Wilson or a flex tight end. And then you'll see like this traffic jam of routes, which is designed to get guys open because Jahan really doesn't win enough in enough positions on the field by himself to say you are my starting XYZ. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they have to do it creatively with him. And they've managed to do it in the past. I think to your question, though, once everybody's healthy and they play a game and you got targets to AJ, got targets to Devontae, you got targets to Dallas, I just don't know how – and you're going to throw the ball a little bit more probably to Saquon or Shipley. I don't really know on a per-game basis how much more we're talking about for Jahan.
Defensively, Jeff, Ringo, Bennett, and Adoree Jackson, where do things stand with those 3 guys? They did not have a good showing against Cincinnati and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. And how important are these joint practices coming up this week with Cleveland for that for that CB2 job?
Isn't it? Do you guys ever get a laugh just listening to Vic Fangio? And he's talking about Adoree Jackson, and he said, he's a guy who can really grow and learn from this. And I'm like, this guy has played 8 years in the National. This is his ninth year as a first-round pick, and his coordinator is telling him he can learn and grow from this. And by the way, that way he even said it earlier in camp. Oh, he's continuing to grow and learn. It's fun.
Is this like a Bryce Huff situation all over again, or
I don't think it's that bad. Yeah, it's not that bad. I think Adoree Jackson can play and give you a baseline level of competition out there. But to Vic's point, it's not like anybody's just jumping out there and stealing this job. It's a hard defense to learn. They do in their zone principles. It's called match, carry, deliver, where you're playing zone, but you may have man coverage in your area of the zone until you carry and deliver that receiver or tight end, right, to a different zone, and then somebody else picks him up. That stuff is hard to learn overnight. So I think that's the challenge that Adoree and now Jacorian Bennett face. It should favor Kelee Ringo year 2. I think he's got to calm down and just play a little football, and make the tackle when it's there. I thought that was the worst play over the back shoulder. The back shoulder, you know how many good cornerbacks give up a back shoulder to Jamar Chase? I mean, he didn't track the ball well, but to me it was the rushed bad tackle that led to the touchdown. That was
Right.
that was Keely Ringo, right? Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
issue. But there's a lot of time here. I know it seems like there's not, but there's still several weeks.
Jeff, I want to stay on the defensive side of things and the interior defensive line, whether it's Ty Robinson, Byron Young, Gabe Hall. They get rid of Thomas Booker. I thought Vic's answer was interesting on Saturday. He said, are they where they need to be? No, but they're coming along, and hopefully that will continue. Who do you think's coming along at this point, and who do you think will rise after Thomas Booker being traded for Bennett?
Yeah, I mean, that just shows you Vic's standard, right? I mean, I have yet to hear Vic say, man, this guy's arrived. This guy is really playing at an elite level. Maybe he said it about Jalen Carter, but probably in the middle of last year, I think he said it, when everyone was asking about playing all these snaps, right? So you have to kind of read between that. But I do think, to his point, and you sometimes we always say on Inside the Birds, the answers to the test are right there. If you guys remember, if you guys were awake and actually watching it, and I applaud you if you were, in the fourth quarter of the preseason game on Thursday night, on the last third down for the Bengals, Ty Robinson and Gabe Hall were in there executing an inside stunt, right? A TT stunt, I believe. Which, I mean, how often do you see guys who are playing in the first quarter also playing in the fourth quarter? But Vic is very adamant about getting time, getting reps. He's always making fun of people who, I think on his own team, maybe who think practice is not as important or want to truncate practice. So I do really think that when he talks about that, he means Ty Robinson is a rookie and he's probably swimming a little bit and needs snaps. Gabe Hall needs snaps. I mean, clearly the guys who didn't play are guys he's comfortable with, right? So I do think Robinson will work his way into the rotation at some point. Now, I like what I've seen from Gabe Hall.
At the open practice, I know Drew Makuba, he was getting some second-team work. Sidney Brown was a little banged up in that preseason game. Where does it stand in the secondary at safety? I know a lot of fans and listeners have concerns about the safety position. Where are we at with Makuba's development? I know he was hurt a little bit. He was banged up. Where are we at there with safety?
Yeah, it's a big week. It's a big week for both of them.
Yeah.
With the Browns coming into town, these two practices, and not just these guys, but a lot of them, but they're going to treat these two practices like the game. They're going to script everything, which is the beauty of the joint practices. They're going to go through every down and distance scenario they want to see, red zone, goal line, first down, backed up, and they're going to go at it with the Browns because that's what you do in joint practices. So it's a really big week, Nick, for Sidney Brown and for Makuba. I give Makuba some credit. He returned to practice. They didn't play him in the preseason game. I think they wanted to make sure he's 100% for this week. But he did come to practice, what was that, Tuesday, right? And he participated in the drills and thought he did a good job. You know, he gave up a touchdown to Goddard, who jumped up in the air and plucked it out of the air. It wasn't like it was bad coverage. Broke up another pass. He did look to me like he was still like not 100%, so I give him a lot of credit for getting out there. And I think this week, Nick will be big because if I were to shoot up everybody on the coaching staff with truth serum, inject them with that, I think they would tell you, they would say they want Makuba to win the job. He's more versatile. He's the type of guy that can flourish in Vic Fangio's system. But it's not like Sidney Brown has played poorly. You heard Vic say he's still trying to recognize things a little quicker. And this week will be a perfect opportunity to do that against a defense that's going to, against an offense that's going to show him stuff that he's not been seeing for the last 2 weeks over and over.
Yeah, and I also want to talk about Cooper DeJean just real quick because there's been people texting in regarding DeJean. Could he move to the outside if they don't like what they see from Bennett and Ringo and Adoree Jackson, really don't grab that second cornerback spot? Is there any chance at all that DeJean could move to the outside? I know they want to use him in nickel. They want to use him at safety, linebacker, whatever it may be. They want to utilize all of his skill sets all over the place on defense. Is there any chance he could ever play outside corner? They could use him there at some point?
You know, it's funny. When they drafted him last April, right, 2 Aprils ago, they drafted him with the idea that he'd eventually be an outside corner.
Right.
That's a fact. That is something that I know for a fact. But just because that's what they intended then doesn't mean the defensive coordinator has to agree or do it. And no one's going to say, Vic, you don't do that, right? So Vic did this spring. Vic practiced him, at least in one of the OTAs we watched, at outside corner. Practice him at safety, and Vic for right now has decided that if he is going to play a position along with nickel, let's get the facts out first. He's going to be the nickel corner, and they're going to play nickel 80% of the time. So the conversation we're really having is about these other snaps where the
Right.
5-man front's on the field, right, run down, and they're only playing 4 defensive backs, 2 safeties. Yeah, it looks right now like they want to see Cooper DeJean in that spot. And to your question, that might have something to do with the uncertainty going on right now at the other safety spot, and that Makuba himself is a little undersized, and already Sidney Brown has struggled with injury. So maybe this helps to take the workload off him by not having him out there in the base defense. That doesn't mean the door is closed on Cooper DeJean playing outside corner anytime down the road. But based on what we've seen in practice, I don't think we've seen him play outside corner in base at all. So now I'll go back to last year. I'm sorry, I'm being very long-winded. You're asking.
That's okay. That's why we're here. It's football at 4, Jeff. We're having a lot of fun.
Good,
You're in the principal's office once again.
It might get to be football at 5 in a minute if I keep going.
That's okay. I could talk football all day. We're getting so close.
It's
Jeff.
preseason, Moshe. We're all a little rusty. It's okay.
But good. We're all in preseason form. If you go back to last year, Quinyon Mitchell was the nickelback for like the first week or 2 of camp until Cooper DeJean came back, and then he felt comfortable moving Quinyon to outside corner, and then it just took off from there. But it is, I mean, all throughout the OTAs and for the first, I want to say 2 weeks of camp, Quinyon Mitchell was the slot cornerback. Nobody remembers that now. Nobody.
I do not remember that at all.
Right. So we've obsessed over the last 2 weeks about Cooper DeJean playing safety, right? Who knows? Could something change with this outside corner situation that makes Vic rethink it? Sure. But for now, the facts are he's base safety and nickel corner or nickelback.
Last one for me, Moshe. Jahad Campbell. He only played 15 snaps on Thursday night. Maybe they're just trying to not give him too much on his plate at one time. Where did things stand with Campbell? Do you think he'll be starting come week 1?
Yeah, you know how they tell rookies if you're going to make a mistake, make it at 100 miles per hour, and just go play 100 miles per hour. Well, you saw that. I mean, he's trying to get downhill on a run. He gets his hands on a guy's face. He sort of gets blocked out. That's rookie. Right. Yeah. But then, if you guys remember, there was that pass over the middle. Andre Sam hits the receiver, and the ball goes up in the air. And this is like 15 yards downfield, right? And who's diving to try to come up with the interception is Jahad Campbell. And I'm like, wow, he came from pretty far away to get there. That shows you his athleticism, and it shows you why, they want to give him every opportunity to get on the field. But Vic's not going to play him if he doesn't think he's mentally ready, if he knows how to use his body the right way, if he doesn't over pursue. Sidney Brown last year, hair on fire, plays great, hits anything that's in front of him, but he was not assignment sound. So Vic's going to play the assignment sound guy. But if Jahad Campbell continues to progress and shows that he'll be, and this is a big week for him too, I think, then he'll get that job. But he's got to show it.
Jeff, thanks so much for joining us today for Football at 4. I know you're excited. The summer's almost over. We're getting closer to football season. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're still in preseason form here. And Mike, he's a world traveler now, so we'll let him be for a couple more days.
That guy.
Oh, yeah, for sure. So we'll just thank you so much for joining us at Jeff P. Mosher on the Twitter X platform. Thanks again.
All right, guys. Have a good one. Thanks.
See you, Moshe.
All right, that's Football at 4, brought to you by the Ocean Casino Resort and the Gallery Bar Booking Games, the place to be inside Ocean Casino this football season. Go to the Gallery, go to Ocean, go for the win. For more information, visit theoceanac.com. And we're broadcasting in Ocean Casino Resort at the Fanatic Sports Book in the Gallery right now. That was Football at 4. On the other side, we have some interesting topics for the Nuggets. It's going to be a full platter there, PG.
Peachy's Pete, slice of pizza.
Get a slice from you.
Nuggets, maybe some Josh Henning.
Henning hamburgers back there.
Josh's jelly beans or jambalaya, yeah.
We got to stick with the bit, I guess. All right, more Sports Bash on the way. The Nuggets are next. All right, we're back broadcasting live from the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery, live at Ocean Casino Resort. I am Nick Earnshaw alongside Pete G, filling in for world traveler Mike Gill, who's on like a cruise right now. Lucky, very lucky, to say the least. Nick's Nuggets is brought to you by The Hub, gear that works as hard as you do. And by the way, we have another breaking news nugget. We're going to start with a breaking news nugget.
Talk about lucky.
I mean, the Eagles dodged a bullet. More reporting on the Landon Dickerson
This
injury.
Is breaking news on
Here it is.
97.3 ESPN
Found the
FM,
sounder.
South Jersey's sports leader.
And the breaking news is, per Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafalo of the NFL Network, Eagles Pro Bowl guard Landon Dickerson, who suffered a meniscus injury on Sunday night, is having minor knee surgery in the coming days. He's considered week to week with the goal of being available to begin the regular season. I mean, wow. Dodging a bullet, to say the least.
So can I just add some context to that? So if you go based off of what Dr. Chow said a couple hours ago, if you go read my article on 973ESPN.com, it's the idea that the minor procedure is a cleanup. So technically it's a 6-week recovery timeline. Now I'm assuming for a guy who's about 300-some pounds, you're probably going to play on the safe side of that timeline. So I would say that you would probably won't see Dickerson until October.
All right, 609-403-0973. I'm going to add to our question of the day. It was, should the Phillies shut Zack Wheeler down? What should the Eagles do with Dickerson here, PG?
Bubble wrap. Yeah, bubble wrap until, September 4th could be a stretch, but soon after that, week to week, we still have about 3 weeks until the opener on Thursday.
On the 4th.
Yeah, September 4th might be a stretch, but hey, that's okay.
That's massive.
We can get by the first few games.
Well, that's why I was saying October. You just tell Dickerson, look, take your time. We don't need you immediately.
Josh, I totally agree. It's the same kind of scenario with Wheeler. Take some time off, get right, and be ready to go for the postseason with Wheeler, and be ready to go a couple weeks in for Dickerson. He's considered week to week. That is reporting from Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafalo of the NFL Network. Landon Dickerson will have minor knee surgery in the coming days and is considered week to week with the goal of being available to begin the regular season. I'll tell you what, that is best case scenario for the Philadelphia Eagles and Landon Dickerson. It's not even close. I thought it could have been way worse.
Go over there and play a couple slots.
I know.
That's the kind of luck that the Eagles just got.
We are at the Ocean Casino Resort, and listen, we might have to go play a couple of slots. And by the way, before we get to the Nuggets, we're at Ocean Casino. They have some great events coming up, PG. UFC 319 on Saturday, August 16th. That's coming up this week. Then you have Walker Hayes Friday, August 22nd, 9 p.m. in Ovation Hall. Matt McCusker live Saturday, August 16th as well, 8 p.m. in Ovation Hall. And Sebastian Maniscalco's It Ain't
That's
Right
my
tour.
guy. I'm going to try and see him.
September 18th through 28th, 8 p.m. at Ovation Hall. So a lot of fun stuff here at Ocean Casino Resort, where we are broadcasting live at the Fanatic Sportsbook. And listen, we gave you a breaking news nuggets to start the segment. And whew, thank goodness, because the Eagles dodged the bullet, Dickerson dodged the bullet, and he's not going to miss significant time. That is the big key here. And earlier, Schefter came out with a report that it was just a meniscus injury, and that was really it. That's all we got. We had no timetable, nothing. Now we have a little bit more information. He's going to have knee surgery this coming week, as well as it's a week-to-week injury.
And you know what? Maybe he is ready for the 4th.
Could you imagine?
We're talking about Landon Dickerson.
It's a big boy.
It's a big boy.
Loves his Uncrustables, by the way.
It's a tough boy. We saw him loving the Uncrustables during that Lane Johnson interview. Maybe he is back the 4th.
See, I think you're being very, very optimistic there, only because of the fact that this is a guy who had numerous knee injuries in college. And the good news
he
of all
was
this
hurt a lot at Alabama. You're right, Josh.
Well, also he was at Florida State before that. People don't remember.
Yep.
He was at Florida State, got injured, then went to Alabama, got injured again, moved positions, then got drafted. And the Eagles have done a great job at keeping him healthy. Remember, he has started at least 16 games
Would
the
you
last
be
3
shocked,
years.
though, if he was back out there?
Shocked.
Knowing Landon Dickerson, you would be shocked.
He'd be stunned.
Because it's not about Landon. It's about the Eagles protecting their guy from himself. That's a
agree.
300-pound man.
I agree. That's a lot of weight. Remember, we've had
it
this
is,
discussion
certainly.
before with the 76ers. Keep the guy out. Just keep him out for as long as he needs to be out, okay? Same thing with Wheeler.
I agree. I just wouldn't be surprised if
Just be careful.
he's back out.
I'd be
gosh.
shocked.
My
You'd
God.
be shocked.
I'd be
He'd
shocked.
stunned. It's a stunner. It's a stone cold
Stone
stunner.
Cold Stunner. There you go.
He'd be stunned back there
Either
in
way,
the
it's
studio.
the best case scenario.
Josh, always doing a great job back in the studio, keeping us informed, keeping us on the air.
Keeping us in check, too.
Keeping us in check, too. And, tempering your expectations there, Pete. All right? 609-403-0973 is how you jump aboard. All right, let's get into the Nuggets real quick. I want to talk about the Phillies here as well. Dave Dombrowski was on the MLB Network just a little while ago, a couple hours back, and I got to say, the Kyle Schwarber thing, it gets me nervous in the offseason. He's going to hit free agency. He's going to make a lot of money. We know that. He's in the MVP conversation. I want everyone to take a listen to what Dombrowski had to say about Kyle Schwarber heading into the offseason. Take a listen.
Well, he's great. I mean, I can't say one bad thing about Kyle Schwarber. He's a tremendous hitter, clutch hitter, leader in the clubhouse. He's everything that you want with the club. We'd love to have him back in the organization for years to come. No, it probably won't be easy, but he's in a situation that he's shined as a Philly. The organization loves him. The fans love him. And I think he enjoys being part of the organization, but then we'll wait and see what happens. But we're welcoming him with open arms by all means.
Well, Dave, guess what? You better open the checkbook because he's going to cost a lot of money. And I want to preface this conversation with something I was just kind of looking about and thinking about yesterday. Last night while I was sleeping. Before I went to bed, I'm in my pajamas.
You're in your Phillies pajamas?
In my Phillies PJs.
Yeah.
I do have, these Sixers and Flyers ones I just found. Because I moved at the beginning of the year. I just found the Flyers and Sixers one. It was in my Phillies PJs, though. And I'm thinking about it. I'm like, who could you compare Kyle Schwarber's scenario with? What about Freddie Freeman? Do we remember when the Atlanta Braves let Freddie Freeman walk in the offseason just a couple of years back? And what happened? He became a star for the Dodgers. He has that one shining moment in Game 1 of the World Series, and he could still freaking play. And Kyle Schwarber's around the same age that Freddie Freeman left the Atlanta Braves, and he still is a viable player in Major League Baseball. And by the way, like we've said multiple times on this program and in the locker room on Saturdays, Kyle Schwarber is a DH. He is not even playing the field. So you have to consider that when re-signing him. I think you're going to get a couple more really good years out of Kyle Schwarber, some power years out of Kyle Schwarber. Look at what happened with Freddie Freeman. The Phillies don't want to be the Atlanta Braves with what they did with Freddie Freeman. That's all I have to say about Kyle Schwarber because I think they got to open up the checkbook. And Dave, he could say how much Kyle loves it here, they love him, blah, blah, blah. It's all kumbaya. It's going to come down to dollars. And that's it, PG.
There's a lot of comparisons that you could go with. That being one of them. You could compare Schwarber to Kyle Schwarber himself from the Cubs. And the Cubs let him walk for, over $10 million. That was really the sticking point. And look at what happened to Kyle Schwarber now. That was back in 2016 or 2017. Bryce Harper with the Nats, they let him go. And Harper goes to the Phillies, and the rest is history there. But going back to Schwarber, it is on Dave Dombrowski. He did not re-sign Schwarber to enter the season. He's having a great MVP-type year, and now you got to kind of overpay him to keep him here, which is fine. That's fine and dandy, but you got to get it done.
So the year that Freeman left Atlanta was after the 2021 season. He went into his age 32 season for the Dodgers, okay? It'll be 1 year after that for Kyle Schwarber. It'll be entering his age 33 season with the Philadelphia Phillies. So relatively similar. And by the way, Freeman's been an all-star for the Dodgers every single year he's been there. He's led the league in hits one time with the Dodgers, plate appearances. He's been very durable, led the league in doubles in 2023. So I think it's very similar with what happened with Freddie Freeman in Atlanta, going to L.A., and with what is happening with Kyle Schwarber here in Philadelphia, he has embraced the fan base. Now, he's not a career Philadelphia
Right,
Philly.
he's not
I
a folk
understand
hero
that.
like he was
But
Freeman, yeah.
he has meant so much to this fan base, so much to this organization, and it's been a leader on this team. Not just the MVP stuff, the Schwarber bombs, all that. It's off-the-field stuff, too, that has really ingrained him into the Philadelphia scene as an important piece to this Phillies roster.
And when you get Bryce Harper's seal of approval,
Yeah.
I think you have to. There's no question you got to do what you got to do to get him back. And you could compare it to the Aaron Judge situation. He had a contract year. He was talking with the Giants out in San Francisco, his hometown, but the Yankees did what they had to do. They re-signed him, massive amount of money, but they kept him in pinstripes.
Yep. Listen, well, they almost did. They almost lost Arson. You know,
Right.
Arson Judge. 609-403-0973. You can jump in to any of our conversations today. But the thing with Schwarber is I thought about it last night in my Phillies PJs. I'm just sitting there in bed on my cellular device, and I'm thinking, what situation does this remind me of? I couldn't think of it. All of a sudden I did, and it's very similar to the Freeman situation. And you don't want to happen with Freeman to happen with Schwarber. If he goes on and becomes an all-star every single year, he won all-star MVP this year, that can't happen. The Phillies will fall apart if they let him walk in the offseason. Now, a World Series could change a lot of things. Maybe you're like, all right, we got our World Series, we can let him walk. They could look at it that way. But especially if they don't win, you got to keep him around. I know there are tons of people out there that don't want to see what happened with the 08 core. With the Utley, Rollins, Howard, them aging really fast, start getting hurt, etc. I know people are afraid of that. But Kyle Schwarber would be a fantastic bridge to the younger players that we have coming up in Philadelphia. The Painters, the Crawfords, the Millers. You want that rock there to kind of help these guys come up and become pros. I don't want Kyle Schwarber leaving. I don't think anybody in this fan base wants to see Kyle Schwarber leave. And Dave Dombrowski had a lot of glowing words for him. You got to open up the checkbook.
And again, it falls on Dombrowski to get it done. He didn't get it done before the season. Schwarber's having an MVP year, and now you got to get it done.
Yeah, have to. All right, Pete, what do you got for me? You got a slice? Got a slice of Pete's Pizza. We're having a whole platter here on the Nuggets today. Sports Bash, Nick Earnshaw, Pete G filling in, Josh Henning back at the studio. We are live from the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort. What do you got for me, Pete?
I got a very timely slice of pizza here for both you and Josh. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders.
Oh.
Now, what a debut the guy had. Preseason, we know, but 2 tutties, 138 yards, no turnovers, commanded the offense. He's coming into town this week for the joint practices. Yep. They got a game on Saturday afternoon at the Link. He's already got a Nike ad. Shedeur Sanders, thoughts? Does he start week 1?
I'll go first. Did you see him walk in?
He did have the
stadium.
entourage. We did see him in New Orleans with that same entourage.
We did.
Right, did we not?
However, in New Orleans, when we were at Radio Row, he did not have a speaker walking in. They were playing music. He had the entourage.
He had a nice podcast set up.
I mean, he did. That was a little much for me, in my estimation. Now, guess what? He walked the walk. He played well. However, it's the first preseason game. I'm rooting for Shedeur. I hope he does well. You know, they got a mess in Cleveland with all those quarterbacks.
Does it make you wonder why in the hell they have 5 quarterbacks on their roster?
I don't get it. But, listen, first preseason game, played well. I hope he continues to play well. Maybe not against the Eagles. That's fine. I want to see some more defensive guys show up in the secondary and on the defensive line. But
week 1, I mean, are we trending in that direction?
I'm going to say he's not going to start week 1. Josh, what do you say back there?
Sorry, I might actually help if I turn my microphone on.
It might help.
That would help.
That would help.
So I've always said that I thought Flacco was going to start week 1 no matter what. And that the whole idea is that so my theory has always been the Browns drafted him in the 5th round because NFL teams were punishing him for how he went through the draft process.
Yep.
There was a lot of reporting out there that he basically treated the draft process as if he was interviewing teams and them not interviewing him. And so it's part of the reason why, if you saw some of the reports from people like James Palmer, who by the way is working for the Athletic now, and others, they have said that basically his father kind of like distanced himself from his son once he got drafted in order to let his son kind of like find a way to stand on his own 2 feet. Well, apparently at training camp, Shedeur has actually been one of the best, not the best quarterback out there. Ironically, this guy was drafted 2 rounds after Dylan Gabriel. Gabriel has looked the worst in training camp. I think by the time we get to the season, Flacco will be the starter because they want to try to win games now. But then Shedeur will still be on the roster. Gabriel will be on the practice squad, and Kenny Pickett will be nursing his hamstring injury.
See, I disagree. I think we're going to see Sanders week 1.
You think he's going to be week 1 starter?
Why not? I mean, with the
I don't
quarterback
disagree.
situation that Cleveland has had for the last 75 years.
I don't disagree with you, but it's the Browns we're talking about here. Like,
that's
they
fine.
Just,
I mean, I don't know why you would start Joe Flacco.
Because you want to win games.
I mean, come on. You really think Joe Flacco is going to win games?
2 years ago, Flacco took him to the postseason.
You think Joe Flacco is going to go toe-to-toe with Lamar Jackson? And
You don't need him to go toe-to-toe. You got Myles Garrett for that.
I mean, I think we're going to see Shedeur Sanders week 1. I don't know why you wouldn't put him out there. Who cares?
Because it's the Browns. I think the Browns are just inept. And they're not. They drafted 2 quarterbacks in the same draft as rookies and took Gabriel ahead of Shedeur.
I don't know what Joe Flacco is going to do in place of Shedeur Sanders.
Joe Flacco. Listen, he's
40.
He's a wily veteran. Okay. He's
yeah.
been good. He's been good as a backup, and he's started. And he's gone to playoff
he's
games.
serviceable.
He was good the other year.
He's a good
Josh
mentor
said
type guy. Yes. I don't see it. I mean, if Shedeur, and the fans are going to force him to play Shedeur
He'll
Sanders.
get in.
Yeah.
There's no way he's not going to.
I didn't say he's not playing the whole year.
Yeah.
I just said week 1 for an organization that's desperate to try to win games after what they've been through the last couple of years.
If he has the same type performance, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, the next 2 preseason games, I mean, why wouldn't you put him in there week 1?
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with it. I think they should start him week 1. You drafted the guy. We know he has talent. Just start him. Why not? Throw him out there. I'm cool with it week 1. But I don't think they will because they have Flacco. They're going to go that route, and then he's going to play bad. And then what's going to happen is the fans, the media are going to call for Shedeur, and by like week 3 or 4, you're going to see him in the mix.
So then why wouldn't you just play him in week 1?
Because it's the Cleveland Browns.
But if you're going to go to
we're talking about the Cleveland
October,
Browns here. What quarterback has been good for them in years?
That's my point. That's exactly my point.
Baker was for like a year, but
year and a half.
That's another good comparison with Kyle Schwarber. You let Baker Mayfield go, you couldn't really develop him, and now look at him in Tampa.
With Kyle Schwarber?
Yeah, how Schwarber. You don't want to leave Schwarber. Yeah,
it's a bit of a stretch.
I'm trying.
You're trying.
I did come up with the
the Freeman one was better.
What about the Bryce Harper Nationals or the Kyle Schwarber Cubs?
The Schwarber Cubs one was good.
Yeah, with himself. Comparing it with himself was pretty good.
I'll take it.
He'll take it. Yeah, I think the Schwarber and the Baker. You're reaching for that one. Yeah.
All right, so really quick,
Josh.
let's follow up on this Shedeur Sanders thing. If Shedeur Sanders starts however many games this year, who has a better rookie year then? Sanders or Cam Ward?
Now, he looked pretty good, right?
He did.
In his first preseason game?
Yes, he did.
Cam
It is
Ward,
preseason.
Easy for me. I think it's Cam Ward. That's easy for me.
You like the Titans' weapons better?
He did have a nice connection with Calvin Ridley.
Yeah.
I did see that.
I would take Cam Ward over Shedeur. But Shedeur's not going to start week 1. It's just not going to happen. Okay.
No, but if Shedeur plays 12 games, let's just put it out there.
That's fair.
It's just who do you think ends up with a better year?
I can't wait for all the drama surrounding the Cleveland Browns this year. It's going to be so much fun to watch.
I really think he's going to start week 1.
All right. I don't think he is. By the way, we have a text coming in. Casual take to say Shedeur will start week 1. Calling you a casual.
Casual?
Wow. That's a shot.
Is that a Gen Z slang?
That is a Gen Z slang. That is a Gen Z slang for sure. Josh and I texted Josh the other day, and we talked about it on Friday. I had some Gen Z slang for Josh. He had no idea what I was talking about. Hopefully the audience might know what I'm talking about. There are the nuggets and the slices of pizza and the Henning hamburger back there in the studio. All right. We're going to wrap up hour number 3 here. We got one more power hour to go in the 5 o'clock hour. Dave Klemick, former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver, is going to join us here on the program. Going to talk all things birds. Clem and them, he's going to break it down for us. We might get to ask him about the meniscus thing, too. He's pretty knowledgeable.
I want to get a
about
Shador
that stuff.
Sanders question in there, too.
We will. All right. More of that on the way here in the Sports Bash. Nick Earnshaw, Pete G, filling in. See you on the other side. Welcome back into the Sports Bash. Nick Earnshaw, Pete G, filling in for Mike Gill today. We are live at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. And Pete, I don't know if you've been to the Topgolf Swing Suite Bar and Kitchen, but guess what? You can have your fantasy football draft party there. They got tons of packages available from August 9th to September 3rd, right up until that first Eagles game on September 4th. You can have your fantasy football draft party at Topgolf Swing Suite Bar and Kitchen. Make your picks while enjoying the ultimate bar food. $600 per package, up to 10 guests. $50 per each additional person, up to 12 guests as well. Book now at theoceanac.com. Momentarily, we'll speak with Dave Klemick, former Kansas City Chief and mainland grad, and he's actually on the line right now. So we'll go to the phones, and Dave Klemick joining us here on the Sports Bash. Nick Earnshaw, Pete G, live from the Ocean Casino Resort. Dave, thanks so much for taking a couple minutes to talk some football today.
I was waiting for that one.
That's what he does every single Saturday. He comes over with like 18 cups of coffee, and he's just off the wall, bouncing off the wall with Schweiner and himself. Clem and them, I want to start with the Landon Dickerson news. He went down in the open practice yesterday. It seems like it's a tear in the meniscus, but a minor tear. They call it a trim. Do you have any insight as to how that injury is portrayed and the way they could go about using it, utilizing their assets with Landon Dickerson here? Right. We're talking with Dave Klemick, former Kansas City Chief and owner and operator of the Klemick Performance Method. Yeah, it comes out today that he's considered week to week. He's going to have minor knee surgery in the coming days, according to Ian Rappaport and Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network. So if you're Jalen Hurts and you're Saquon Barkley, and now you kind of have some question marks at the guard position. Tyler Steen going to be his first year starting. Mekhi Becton, he goes to the Chargers. Does that change anything, do you think, for the Philadelphia Eagles on the way they operate? So with them lose Dickerson, he could miss some time. He could be ready for the regular season, but he's going to have surgery going into the next couple of days. Talk to me about how this could affect the way the Eagles run the ball, the way the Eagles operate on the offensive line.
Hey, Clemic, I wanted to talk to you about the wide receivers and what we saw from Darius Cooper and Johnny Wilson on Thursday night. I know it's kind of depth chart stuff, but what did you see from those two guys? And even if, one guy doesn't make the team, how big was it for for whoever it is to get that game tape out there for other teams to maybe pick them up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
We're talking with Mainland Regional High School grad and former Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Dave Klemick here on the Sports Bash. Dave, we talk about wide receivers. I want to talk about the guy throwing the football, and that's Jalen Hurts. I mean, coming off a year where he wins Super Bowl MVP, I mean, he doesn't even put the ring on during the ring ceremony. I mean, that's how locked in this guy is. What are your expectations for a quarterback like Jalen Hurts and the way he's approached the offseason after winning his first Super Bowl? Yeah. I love it. Dave, you invoked the tush push. They just did it the other night with Tanner McKee in the Thursday night game, in the first preseason game of the season. Where do you stand on the tush push right now? You know, the vote was so close in the offseason to getting it banned, but it stays for the upcoming year. Where do you stand on the tush push? Is it fair? Should the defense have more an opportunity to stop it? What is your stance on the tush push?
Dave, I wanted to ask you about the defense and specifically the cornerback number 2 position with Adoree Jackson, Keely Ringo, and the new kid Bennett. And talk about learning new systems. 2 out of the 3 guys are coming into a new system with Vic Fangio. What's your confidence level with that position? Should Ringo have the edge because he's been in this system, or the new kid Bennett? What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Yep. He's a Georgia guy. Yep. He's a Bulldog. Dave, I want to ask you about Jahad Campbell and his expectation heading into the year. You know, he drops in the draft due to the injury concerns, and I think that was a mistake by a lot of teams. What should Philly fans expect out of Jahad Campbell heading into this year? Timber Creek.
Klimek, asking you about preseason in general. What are your thoughts on teams playing their guys? You know, we've seen Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. They played. Justin Fields was playing. Eagles, obviously, they don't play any other guys. But just that philosophy-wise, where do you stand on teams playing their studs preseason? Right. For the Eagles specifically, is there a correlation between why they get off to these slow, sluggish starts? We saw last year, it was very slow to develop sometimes in September and October, and then they went on a roll. But is there a correlation there, do you think?
Clement M., thank you so much for joining us. That was fantastic. You know, he mentioned keep the main thing the main
I've
thing.
heard that somewhere before.
I mean, we heard that somewhere from a starting quarterback in Philadelphia a ton. Great job as always. We'll see you in the locker room on Saturday. Dave Klemick, Mainland Regional High School grad, as well as a former Kansas City Chief. Clement M., we'll see you Saturday. All right, Dave Klemick there. Here on the Sports Bash, Nick Earnshaw, Pete G filling in for world traveler Mike Gill. We are live at the Ocean Casino Resort, and we're at the Fanatics Sportsbook in the gallery. I also want to remind people the 5 p.m. hour is brought to you by White Horse RV Center in Williamstown and Galloway. Don't miss out on the Red Tag Clearance event going on now at White Horse RV. Your RV adventure starts at White Horse RV in Williamstown and Galloway. All right, we'll take a quick step off here on the Sports Bash, and we'll be right back with more Phillies and Eagles talk on the other side. All right, we're getting close to the end here on the Sports Bash. We are live from the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. Nick Earnshaw, Pete G, filling in for Mike Gill on this Monday afternoon. I want to remind people that Ocean Casino Resort has a lot of great events coming up. They got the UFC 319 this Saturday, August 16th. You also have Walker Hayes Friday, August 22nd at 9 p.m. at Ovation Hall. Matt McCusker live this Saturday as well at 8 p.m. at Ovation Hall. And then you got Sebastian Maniscalco in September for his It Ain't Right tour at 8 p.m. at Ovation Hall every single night. So that's going to be sick.
UFC, you talk about UFC, they got that huge deal today with Paramount Plus.
They did.
Billions of dollars.
God, so many media deals. Just
$7.7 billion for 7 years. All numbered events will be on CBS for free, I believe.
Yep.
So the way it's going to work is, just so everybody out
I knew
there.
Henning would jump right in there for that.
Of course I would, because I'm all
set
over
you right
it.
up.
I'm obsessed with this stuff. So
That's a Zack Wheeler diminished velocity fastball right there for you.
You threw him an oop there.
Yeah.
PG.
So what happened was the deal is $7 billion because they're getting away from the pay-per-view model. They said they've actually been losing money on the pay-per-view model.
Yeah.
So the idea now is that every, as you call it, numbered event, instead of them being pay-per-views, they will all be, except for a couple of them, on Paramount Plus. There are a handful of them that will be landing on CBS. There will also be all the fight nights either on CBS or on Paramount Plus, including the big event. They want to have the UFC at the White House event next year on CBS.
Jeez.
So that's going to be when McGregor probably gets the phone call?
Dude, I don't know if McGregor's going to pass the drug test to be able to be eligible.
I mean, Henning he had it nailed down. That was a great oop by you.
Well, so the moral of the story is the pay-per-view model is dead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Well, the illegal streams killed it.
Yeah.
So
you know what killed it? Honestly, I don't think it was just the streams. I think
part of it.
It was also the fact that we live in a headline culture. People don't go to the movies anymore. People don't pay for stuff like they used to. People want to pay for their streaming, and they don't want to pay the extra stuff on top.
So
great point.
WWE went the UFC route that they just came from,
right?
And UFC went the WWE route that they just came from.
Right.
They just switched pretty much.
Swapped.
Yeah.
Almost. I mean, Peacock's going to be dead in about 5 years. So.
Hanging with Henning.
You're telling
every
me I'm
Saturday.
wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
I don't think.
disagree.
Listen, hey, you could be right. We'll see.
Really quick, who do you think is going to absorb Peacock? You know one of them is going to absorb it.
Yep. There's just so many. There's so much media.
See, my money is on Netflix.
Agreements happening at the moment. I can't even keep up.
NBA, and it's going to be all over the place.
Oh my gosh, it's been nuts. All right. 609-403-0973. We'll get to the Phillies to round out the show in just a little bit. I want to read a couple of texts. We have Hassan chiming in. He says, Eli Ricks, cornerback 2. He shows more promise than Ringo. Trade Ringo and cut Adoree. Are we on board with that, PG?
No, I can't do that.
That's a little
depth.
out there.
I mean, yeah, we need depth.
Yeah, you keep Adoree. I keep Ringo, too. Get rid of everybody.
I'm going to keep everyone. And
I like Ricks.
We need the depth at that position.
I like Ricks. I think he can help out on special teams. He showed a couple of good, promising plays a couple of years ago. But I'm as a Ricks fan, I think he's good behind those guys at this point. And I think Jacorian Bennett is your guy, to say the least, going forward. But, yeah, I can't go Eli Ricks, quarterback, too. I think Bennett is the guy. It's his job to lose, in my estimation, at this point.
Which he hasn't even
been
on the field yet.
But Ringo and Adoree Jackson have done nothing to win the job. Nothing.
And I think, we all saw what we needed to see against Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in the first quarter of that game.
Staying with the Eagles, I don't know if you guys saw this. Came out on social media earlier this morning. Jason Kelce and Travis Kelce's podcast. There's like an outline of their next guest. They didn't announce who the guest is, but the rumors and the speculation swirling that guest might be someone close to Travis Kelce.
Now, is this the Swifties coming together and, I guess, doing their investigations and deciphering?
Oh, the Swifties are all over.
They're all over it. It looks like her outline,
right,
of
her
her
silhouette.
head.
It's a silhouette, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it. I think it's going to be Taylor Swift. That's going to go crazy.
Yeah.
That will become the most watched, listened to podcast episode
Probably
of
ever.
all time.
Probably ever. So that's going to be something
Now
interesting.
that comes out on Wednesday?
Wednesday at 7 p.m.
Now the question is for you guys, are you guys actually going to tune in or are you just going to aggregate it later?
No, I'm going to tune in. That's a must-watch in my estimation,
Pete?
I think.
Yeah, I think I might have to watch the whole thing.
Wow.
I'm in.
You're in.
I'm in. Yeah, I'll watch it. Listen, I'm not a Swiftie. I would never consider myself a Swiftie. I like some of the Taylor Swift songs. They're fine. They're okay, whatever. But I'll tune into this one. I think it'll be entertaining. I think it'll be interesting.
You're more of a Stoolie than a Swiftie.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess if you put it like that, sure. We'll go with that.
Okay.
609-403-0973 is how you jump aboard. I want to revert back to the top of the show and what we were discussing earlier today, and it's should the Phillies shut Zack Wheeler down. We had a long discussion earlier on about what the Phillies should do with him. I'm just very concerned about his shoulder. His velocity on his fastball and all of his pitches were down yesterday. He hasn't gone past 6 innings in about over a month at this point. He says he's okay. Rob Thompson says he's okay. But if you look at the numbers and you look at the production, Pete, I'm not sold on Zack Wheeler being 100% as of right now. I'm just not. And I think they should shut him down at least for 2 starts, maybe 3 at this point in the season. You're getting Aaron Nola back. You have Taijuan Walker pitching well, who's actually going to pitch tonight against the Cincinnati Reds. I think it's time to just shut him down for a couple of weeks. You did it a couple of years ago and went to a World Series. You want him to be refreshed heading into October. 609-403-0973. Jump aboard. Do you think the Phillies should shut down Zack Wheeler? And for how long? Should he go to the IL? Should he be shut down for 2, 3, 4 starts? Or just wait for October until that first game comes around?
Yeah, I think it was McGarry maybe who mentioned this earlier. But if you just looked at the box score, you thought 7 strikeouts, 2 earned runs, 5 innings, okay. But, I mean, it was another vintage Zack Wheeler outing. No. I mean, he gave up the homer. Probably should have given up a second homer if Bader didn't steal that thing. But if you look at the velo, and that's what we're all doing here, it is certainly diminished. And there's something going on. Now, he says he's fine. He says he's, quote-unquote, perfectly normal. But I think there is something there.
I for sure know there's something there. I mean, he is switching. And Jim Salisbury, Josh, I don't know if we have that cut still, but Jim Salisbury was on the Philly show that came out today, and he made a great point there, Pete, is that he's changing his philosophy on the mound, right? Because of his diminished velocity on the fastball. Take a listen to what Jim Salisbury had to say on the Philly show.
It just feels like when you're pulling your fastball, you're not getting that good finish. You're not getting out there and getting that good finish. Maybe something in the shoulders causing him not to get that good finish. I don't know. Then you could see his style of pitching change a little bit, more sweeper, change up, getting away from the power stuff because the velo was down, and obviously he's having trouble locating it. So I respect that he grinded through it and got him the 5 innings, but ran a lot of high pitch counts and a lot of 3-0 counts. Just didn't look like Zack, so I'm concerned until he looks like Zack again.
The command has not been there for Zack Wheeler over his past couple of starts. I mean, you look at the last month or so. He hasn't gone past 6 innings. 5 innings yesterday against Texas. 6 innings against Detroit before that. Before that, it was against the New York Yankees. He goes 5 2/3. 6 innings before that, 6 innings before that, until that game against Cincinnati. Ironically, he went the distance, 9 innings pitched, 1 earned. I'm just not sold on the idea that he's okay. And the Phillies can downplay it. He can downplay it all he wants. They have to save him from himself.
Right. It's up to Topper and maybe even Dombrowski to
I'm sure Dombrowski.
Save him from himself.
Yeah. I mean, they need this guy for the postseason. He is your game 1 starter. He is your rock that you know you can count on. If you can't count on him, I'm a little worried. Now, Christopher Sanchez has been phenomenal. He's even in the Cy Young conversation as well. But Zack Wheeler is such a massive force on this team They got to do something about it, and I think it's shut him down. I don't care if he wants to try and go after a Cy Young. I don't care if he thinks he can pitch through it. The way he looked and the way he's pitching, the way the fastball's coming out of his hand does not look right, and the Phillies have to do the right thing here.
Can you keep him in the rotation but ease his workload? Can you cut him back a little bit and let him work through it like he wants to do?
I'd say no, and I think that's part of the issue is you want to save him from himself.
Right.
Because, I mean, he pitched fine yesterday. It's not like he was bad against the
7
Texans.
strikeouts. He struck out the side in the second inning.
But you could tell he was working through it, and Salisbury mentioned it there where he's getting deeper into counts. These are longer counts. And listen, he ended the game with 83 pitches, 51 of them being strikes. It's not like he pitched bad, but he is not looking like the Zack Wheeler we are used to. But and you need the Zack Wheeler you're used to heading into the postseason.
You guys are forgetting one part of this conversation needs to be brought up, and which is something, Nick, that you and I touched on Friday's Sports Bash here on 97.3 ESPN. We talked about this is the same Zack Wheeler who said, I am not going to go to the All-Star game because I want time off. I want to rest my arm. Well,
that's a good point.
We got you the time off, and now you're still fatigued. So
it didn't help.
Right. So at what point is it, hey, Zach, stop mucking your way through it and just take time off?
Yep. I totally agree. And that goes to the point of you got to save a player from themselves. You have to, because he will try and pitch through it. And he's pitched a lot of innings. He's logged a lot of innings over the past couple of years. And he mentioned it. I think we have that cut as well. Zack Wheeler said, like, it's getting to that point in the season where, you know, you're a little banged up and you've logged a lot of innings as well. I want you to take a listen to what Zack Wheeler had to say after the game yesterday and your response, Pete.
Felt a lot better. Felt good. Felt healthy. You know, still just a little off, so just got to keep working at that. But, you know, it wasn't the prettiest today, but got through it.
When you say a little off, like what's the little off, Zach?
Just, I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out, honestly. You know, the past, 4 starts have been off. But, you know, just that part of the season where, you know, the innings are starting to rack up a little bit. So, you know, it's just catching up to me a little bit, but I just got to push through it. And it's all just a cycle. So I'll come back around and I'll be fine.
Credit to Bob Cooney of NBC Sports Philadelphia for pressing Zach on that. He's saying he's feeling a little off, and he's felt a little off for a little while. That's a player that needs to be saved from himself. That is exactly what I'm talking about. He will try and push through it, which you got to commend, and there's nothing wrong with him battling through something. But they got to shut him down for a little while. I'm sorry. He is too good and too important to this team heading into the postseason to let him be injured and just let him just work through it. No, that is not what the Philadelphia Phillies should do. Text in your thoughts on the whole Zack Wheeler situation, 609-403-0973. PG, they got to save him from himself.
And a pitcher like Wheeler, he needs that velo to be Zack Wheeler.
Yep.
If he is off by 2 ticks, that really changes him as a pitcher. I mean, we've seen Ranger Suarez. That's his game, the diminished velo, slower pitches. Yep. But with Wheeler, he needs his fastball at top notch. I mean, if he's down 2 ticks, that's massive when it comes to in-game. Guys are making contact. They're prolonging at bats. It's just a different pitcher. And if the treatment is working, which Zack Wheeler said it did, right? The rest did help him.
Yeah.
I still would maybe give him a little bit of a rest.
2 days off is not enough, Topper. Rob, it's just not enough. We're broadcasting live from the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. We're having a lot of fun filling in for Mike Gill, Nick Earnshaw, Pete G. We're going to wrap it up on the other side. This is the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. All right, final segment here in the 5 o'clock hour. Nick Earnshaw, Pete G filling in for Mike Gill here on the Sports Bash. We're broadcasting live from the Fanatic Sportsbook in the gallery at Ocean Casino Resort. And every Monday, the Sports Bash will be here. So when Mike comes back, I'll be here at Ocean next Monday instead of me. PG, I think you'll probably be here, I'm assuming.
I'll be here,
right?
yeah, every Monday.
Love it. 5 p.m. hours brought to you by White Horse RV Center in Williamstown and Galloway. Don't miss out on the red tag clearance event going on now at White Horse RV. Your RV adventure starts at White Horse RV in Williamstown and Galloway. It's just awesome being back in the Fanatic Sportsbook at Ocean, PG. You got all the TVs here in the Fanatic Sportsbook. It's been an absolute blast here on a Monday afternoon. And you know what it reminds me of?
What's that?
It just reminds me that football's back.
Me too, man. I said that the other day.
Football's back if we're at the Ocean Casino.
And you know what? It is back. We got preseason games all over the place. Joint practice with the Browns this week. Shador Sanders, my boy, will be in town.
Yeah, that's your guy.
He's going to claim that number one job, QB1.
He won't start. He's not going to start week 1. I'll tell you that right now. It's not happening.
You're going to change your tune on Saturday about 4 o'clock.
Is he going to tear up the Eagles' defense?
Yes, he will. Yeah.
That's a PG prediction right
Keely
there.
Ringo and Adoree Jackson. Yeah.
That's a nice ring to it. PG predictions.
Okay.
I like
I'm going to use that, actually.
Yeah,
Monday,
use that.
Yeah, Mondays. Okay.
There you go. Mondays with Gil when he comes back. You know, he's world traveling. He's on a cruise right now, so he's allowing us to take over here at Ocean as we have a couple of minutes left.
In all seriousness, though, the joint practices should tell us a lot about
I think it will.
Where this defense is. You've been matching up with the same group of guys since early July, mid-July. Now you get some different guys in here.
I'll tell you what. Adam Schefter, perfect timing before we end the show.
Okay.
The Browns just released their second depth chart of the summer.
All right.
At quarterback, number 1, Joe Flacco.
Oh, come on.
Number 2, Kenny Pickett.
Oh, come on.
Number 3, Dylan Gabriel. And number 4, Shador Sanders. Week 1's not looking too good for you, Pete. It's a bad Pete prediction right there.
You know what? More power to him. I mean,
that couldn't have timed out more
you
perfectly.
You could trot out Joe Flacco all you want. Go for it.
Well, you have to remember, we're talking about the Browns here, as the Browns will be taking on the Philadelphia Eagles coming up later this week.
Just give Shador Sanders more playing time to prove all his haters wrong.
Listen, he's going to have a shot against the Birds coming up. So Saturday at 1 o'clock, that's the 16th, right here on 97.3
Me and Mel
ESPN.
Kiper, man. Me and Mel Kiper.
You're in, yeah. I mean, he was defending him like crazy
lockstep
during the draft. All right, I want to thank Ocean Casino Resort, the Fanatic Sportsbook in the galleries. We broadcasted live for the first time this football season. Had a lot of fun today for PG, Nick Earnshaw. By the way, coming up next, the Shriners got you.
A bonus Schweimer here.
South Jersey Lifeguard Championships coming up next right here on 97.3 ESPN. They'll have live coverage from Avalon with those races. So if you're waiting for that, stay tuned. Just a couple of minutes away. The Shriners going to help you out. You heard him on Saturday and Sunday. He'll take you through the next couple of hours. All right, Nick Earnshaw, Pete G, filled in for Mike Gill. Josh Henning will have you tomorrow here on the Sports Bash. We'll talk to everybody real soon. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you on the other side.